Welcome to the 9th episode of Hixvant Draconis. Wrong game. Pelagaius. Tells you where I've been looking at it. Tells you where I've been at.
That's what you get for working on it instead of this game.
Oh, shut up. I'm your humble GM, the Emerald Emperor. Tyson, why don't you tell us where we last left off?
Sure. We last left off on top of a mountain range. By boat? No, we last left off by boats by the ocean.
Yeah.
We're like, hey,
Yeah,
let's
got
meet
a
up here in a
bucket.
month when these boats are made. And the orcs are like, we'll make it for you. And we're like, woohoo! And then we all parted ways, had a cup of tea, and we went on our epic quest like Lord of the Five Rings.
Lord of the Five Rings.
Yep, Five Rings.
Okay, that must be a TV show that I've never seen
I'm
before.
trying to combine Lord of the Rings with the Five Rings.
Yes, with the League of Legends of the Five Rings.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Hey, I worked really hard on that.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Wow!
I don't know what it was. It looked kind of interesting, but I thought it was...
It was just a smile.
Oh, okay. All right, so pretty much...
Smile effect. It doesn't matter.
Hold up. If I accidentally get cut off, it's because I had a phone call come in.
Okay.
Alright.
Alrighty. So, essentially, yes, you guys left off having been told by the orcs that it would take a month essentially to get the larger ship repaired and seaworthy. In that time as well, the other turtle, Beag, has essentially grown closer due to the seasonal time for the turtles to swim. So you guys are roughly, at this point, about 2 weeks journey out from being able to get to the turtle. So you guys will have to sail kind of ahead of the turtle so you can actually get to it, but it's a 2-week journey from where you're at now, according to the sailors, etc., and those that hopefully know better just due to their profession. During that time...
Yeah, I hope people know.
So during that time, you guys have spent a month collecting various things. Kustrak, you have actually overseen the preliminary restoration of the temple. It's going to take several years to get it back to any sort of worshipping available area like it was before. But you seem to be fairly successful, actually, after that battle of converting most of the orc population, if not all of them, to Habuk.
Nice.
Whoa!
For the most part.
That's amazing.
There are a few here and there that aren't obviously going to jump in straight into it, but the better part of them
Sure.
realize that this is a good god, so they decide to follow. Christina, it takes you about 2 weeks to count all the money and gems.
Yeah. And then
So essentially what you have found is essentially 5,000 gold pieces, and then roughly 200 uncut gems.
nice.
You're not sure how much the gems are worth because you'll have to actually go to an appraiser for it, but
We'll do
that's
that when I
roughly
get
what
home.
you have.
We'll do that when I get home.
As you have also been training, you have gotten decently sneaky using shadows. Nothing super spectacular, but you're harder to spot while being in the shadows. Let's see. Other than that, that's pretty much the gist of what's been happening. As you guys have kind of come and gone from the village during this month's time, Rudy, you've actually seen him actually riding and training his new giant scarab that he personally enlarged with a potion that he has personally created. So he's been training his beetle with that. And then you've heard like pops and explosions and other such from his little lab that he's set up. You're not sure exactly what the heck he's doing, but sometimes it smells like rotten eggs, sometimes it smells like wildflowers, and then sometimes it just smells like a turtle fart. You're not entirely sure what it is that he's doing. Sometimes he actually comes out looking kind of blackened, as though the thing exploded in his face. So that's pretty much it. You guys reconvene at the orc village, leading towards like their version of a port. And you see that the ship, the Devil's Dagger, is ready to sail.
All right. Well,
Let's go.
why are you so excited?
Home. Let's go.
Oh,
She's running
okay
on the
then.
ship. She's not even listening to anybody. She's gone. She will sail that thing herself.
Alrighty.
Did we manage to get a crew for it?
Yes, you actually, upon the deck of the ship, while it's still moored, you see several orc manning stations, etc. Essentially, one of them appears to be wearing some sort of like captain's outfit, but it's kind of like, it looks like deer skin that has been kind of shaped into something that they heard in stories of pirates, etc. So it looks very, very kind of as far as a ship captain, but it appears as though they kind of know what they're doing with the ship as well.
So they dress themselves like pirates?
To an extent, yes, but it looks like
That's awesome.
It looks like deer-skinned pirates instead of like like cloth pirates. They look kind of funny,
That's
honestly. All right. So, the captain waits at the gangplank.
Passing him.
He kind of like tries to salute, but you kind of up on the ship, and he's just like, "Okay." All hands, prepare for the voyage. Aye, Capitan. You realize that not at the moment. As far as I know, you guys are still on the docks. Christina's the only one that rushed the gangplank.
I'm going to go up and salute each and every one of them individually as they're doing the work. Distract them a little bit from their work, just to make sure that they know that I appreciate them.
All right. They kind of salute as you come up. You see a few of them are kind of in awe that one of the heroes of the island would actually take the time. And they happily salute, and then you hear something, the first mate shouting at them, "Oi, get back to work, ye landlubbers!"
Kushak feels very, very embarrassed and bad for getting these people in trouble.
Just like a door.
The captain turns towards Gores. "Milady, if you would be so kind, we will set sail within a few moments."
And then I'll put the head with the spine in my, on my back or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll go, "You bet." And I'll slowly walk on board.
Everyone else outside of Gores doesn't really necessarily care as far as I know, but you guys all see like a shiver run through him as he sees like that, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Bye.
Weird lady. After that, he comes aboard. The gangplank is raised and pulled onto the ship. The mooring lines are thrown into the water and wound up onto board the ship, and the vessel is underway. Here, and if I remembered to bring it, that is not there yet. You guys find yourselves aboard the ship.
Yay! Let's go.
Oh, and Gorfang is not here either.
I'm on the ship. I see it. I'm on the ocean, surrounded by trees and highway.
Yes. So the main thing you see aboard the ship, there's one rowboat.
Oh boy.
You also notice an excessive amount of ballista. We're talking 4 on the aft, 3 on both port and starboard, and then 2 up near the front. All of them are completely and utterly armed, and they look almost brand new, or at least freshly oiled. As you guys take the time to explore the ship, because obviously you have nothing but time,
Yes.
you guys find yourselves, and I don't remember what you guys can see, you guys eventually find yourselves below deck as well, where you see several crew are resting in their little bunks. Essentially the bunks are just special little pieces of like rounded lumber that have been essentially bolted to the ceiling so that the crew could rest, etc., and you guys could rest. Though for this trip, they have actually given you guys access to the captain's quarters, which is very unheard of on any ship. It speaks very highly of your guys' accomplishments.
I don't go to the captain's quarters. I stay down below decks.
Okay. So, what I need everyone to do is roll me a resilience check. This is going to be an average resilience.
Oh, God. Is this to see if we get seasick?
Yep, this is exactly what it's for.
Oh, that's
You
okay.
fucker.
Great.
Hey, none of you guys have actually been out to sea, really, except for Kustrock and Rudy.
So I get 2 greens, Christina.
I do too. Oh, give me a minute. I'll roll yours first.
Here you get 2 greens.
Tyson's first.
Okay.
And then mine.
What'd you roll?
Christina, make sure you're doing 2 purples, too. Don't just roll greens. Good God, we haven't been out of the game that long.
Yeah, we have. There, I'll roll 2 purples. You can. So 1 success for Tyson. I'll probably.
No, he's got
2 greens.
he's got 3 successes and 2 threats. You're not super happy aboard the ship because the rolling kind of makes your stomach roil, but not bad enough where you're actually like seasick all the time. Eventually, after a couple of days, you become very proficient with it.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, Christina's just absolutely sicker than a dog. Christina, this decides the fact that you absolutely hate the water. You thought you hated it before because you don't really like swimming, but this decides it. You absolutely hate the sea. Because you were just sicker than sick.
Yeah. Ugh.
Essentially, you spend most of your time either below decks, laying on the wood, hopefully in the center line, so that you're not like throwing up, or on the railing, just over the edge. Kustrock,
Awesome.
I'm not gonna have you roll because you've lived through the sea before. Rudy isn't here.
Well, I succeeded.
Okay,
I succeeded.
Kustrock's fine.
Ugh.
Where'd you end up
Rudy's
rolling
here,
it?
He's just below decks, asleep.
Either way, Rudy looks like he's just fine.
You know.
Yeah.
All right. So, the voyage is fairly uneventful. What do you guys wish to do? Because you essentially have 2 weeks until you hit the next area.
Try to survive.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
I'm gonna try and like get some stuff to help soothe Kitlin's seasickness using my apothecary stuff.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a average medicine check with 1 setback.
Can I do alchemy? Actually, let's see. Medicine. Better, never mind. Let's go. Average.
Well, and
One
if you'd
setback.
rather use alchemy, you can use alchemy. Either way, it'll be 2 purple, 1 setback. Okay, so you get some stuff that should theoretically help. You give it to Kitlin. It kind of helps for a few minutes to an hour, and she feels pretty good. But then it's just back to roiling on the deck. And just,
Sorry there. That's all I got for you.
You tried at least. Thank you.
All right. Gores, what are you doing?
I'm gonna talk to my new animal companion.
Okay.
So, and I'm gonna spend 5 experience, and I'm gonna start learning her language.
Okay. Why are you spending the 5 XP?
Because I would like during the 2 weeks where I become proficient enough where I'm gonna spend the 5 XP so I have 1 yellow in knowledge and angelic.
Okay.
And that's what I'm gonna be doing for 2 weeks, is trying to learn her language.
Okay, so you learn a little bit more than just the language, obviously.
Right.
You're able to express simple ideas fairly well. You have a little bit of trouble once it starts getting more complicated than simple, but for the most part, you're able to understand angelic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to draw out while I'm, to draw out builds, for the rest of the body and going over the mechanical pieces and things I'll need.
Okay.
Yep.
Kushtrak is actively avoiding you with that abomination.
So if anybody sees me, I'm talking to a pretty much a head and a spine, some body parts.
Okay. Also, Tyson, I need you to roll me a leadership check.
Oh God.
This one is
What
going
for?
to be a average leadership check with a setback.
Oh God. What for?
Your friend does not particularly care to be possessing what you have them possessing.
Well, I'm working on it.
I know. That's why I'm having you roll a leadership check to see how this fares.
Oh God. Can I use a story point?
Yes, you can use a story point.
Can I use a boost because I seem like I'm spending all my time with them to help them?
Sure, I'll give you a boost for trying to, or at least being there the whole time. So it's going to
All
be
right.
2
So
purples, a boost, a
a
setback.
black.
I'm actually
So I'll
also
have
going to use
with
the
my
story point to actually turn one of those to a red, because this character or this creature really hates what you put them in.
All right. So it'd be 1 yellow and 1 green.
1 yellow, 1 green, 1 red, 1 purple, a boost, and a setback.
That's a lot of dice.
Yes, it is.
Baby.
Christina, you got that?
Yeah, what?
Apparently not. 1 yellow,
No.
1 green, 1 red, 1 purple, 1 setback, and 1 boost. So literally one of every color of the dice.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and
Yellow,
that one.
green,
Got it.
Okay.
blue.
Alright, let's see what Christina rolls. Because she was theoretically supposed to roll. Okay, that's a little better. He got, so just to let you know, Tyson, he got a critical failure. He got a despair. 3
Wow.
advantages and 2 failures. I went with Christina's because she got 3 and 3. So 3 successes, 3 threat.
That's fine with me because it would be kind of strainful.
Yeah. So essentially, you
Well,
take
I'm
3
gonna work-
strain just because you just can't seem to get any peace about it because the creature absolutely hates it.
Well, I show them I'm going over finished products with them and stuff.
With the party or just with your pet?
Animal companion to soothe them and ease them.
Okay, that's where the successes come in. It grumbles, it doesn't like it, but it realizes that it's going to get something better later on. And that's the only reason it's
Right.
putting up with this indignity.
All right.
Alright, so roughly halfway through your trip, you guys, I'm assuming, are just keeping to a normal schedule, sleeping during the night,
If I
waking
can.
during the day, that sort of deal. Your dreams are the only time you actually kind of get reprieve, so I'm assuming you're probably sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, so one night, let me see here, I need a dice. There are a total of 3 of you here.
Actual dice. Scary.
Okay. Well, I don't want to roll it on the other one, so. Alright. Okay, so who was the first to join me in here? That was Christina. Second was T. Goodman, and then Aaron was third. Alright, so Aaron, one of the nights halfway through, you're having kind of a strange dream.
Right.
It starts off pretty normally. You're back home with your family, that sort of deal. Somebody's done something silly. But then it slowly starts to morph. You find yourself actually aboard another ship, one that you haven't seen before, and definitely not the ship you're on. As you look around, you see absolutely no crew whatsoever. Though the ship's sails are being trimmed, the rising and falling of the waves, all of that is exactly the way you have seen before sailing.
Okay.
As you
I'm
look, go ahead.
I was just gonna look around some more.
Okay. As you look around the ship, going into the hold, you still see no more people. You don't see supplies. Nothing. No food, no water. There are bunks for crew members, but nobody's there. You don't it's and the weirdest part is it's absolutely 100% quiet. You don't hear any lapping of water against the wood. You can't smell any of the usual things that you would expect to smell on a ship like this. The other thing that's really weird is everything seems to be exceptionally clean. You have never seen a ship this clean before.
Okay. Must be new. Can I do like a perception check to see if this is like some sort of demon devil ship?
Go for it.
Oh, wow.
Hey, welcome back, Tony.
Hey!
Hello.
Yeah, we haven't left yet. I'm an asshole. Go figure.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a ride without Johnny, and Johnny was cooking at the time, so I spent all that time looking to find my one. I'll
Okay.
pay for
Did
a
you
little.
find it?
Alright.
No worries. Essentially, just to catch you up, everybody's aboard the ship. Christina's seasick. Everybody else is perfectly fine. They're in halfway through the journey. Aaron has started to have a weird dream.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What's the difficulty on this perception check?
Go ahead and make it a easy check. So 1 purple.
Okay. 4 success.
Fuck you.
As you look around, the hell was that? Okay. Anyway, as you look around, you see nothing noting exactly who this ship belongs to or anything. You would expect a devil ship to have like a flag or a demon ship to have any sort of flags, but this ship has no like standard at all. There's no. Even the sails are just pure white. There's nothing on them.
Huh. Weird. Can I look out to sea and see if there's anything?
Yeah. I'll continue describing since you got plenty of successes there. As you look out at the sea, you notice that the waves all have kind of the same shape. So as you kind of roll up and down, it's kind of rhythmic. And then eventually the waves start to kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller until finally the ocean is smooth as glass.
Okay. That's weird. Ocean is never smooth.
Is this his dream or is this Coast Rock only?
This is Kustrock only at the moment.
Okay,
Can
that's
I
what I
go
thought.
through-
Just making sure.
Okay. Yeah. Can I go up and through like the captain's quarters or something? Just loot, not loot the
Yeah.
place.
Sure. You make your way to the captain's quarters. All the doors are unlocked. You jiggle the handle on the captain's, open it, and there you find Gores. Gores, as you fall asleep, your dreams are dreamless. Save for the sounds of the water around you, essentially you just fall into a black slumber. And at one point, as you sleep, suddenly you find yourself inside the captain's quarters, but it's on a ship you've never seen either. And as you kind of like sit up and look around, the door opens and there's Kustrock.
Well, there's no one on the ship. Something hinky going.
Is it's just a dream. Just go back to sleep, Ghost Truck. I'm going to roll over.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
As you roll over, you find yourself in the crow's nest, and you almost roll off and plummet. Luckily, you're able to catch yourself on the railings.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I get for rolling over going to sleep. I'll look up into the,
As you
the heavens and go, I hate you, GM.
as you say that, you kind of look back down because there's no answer, and the ship is essentially still moving, but on glass ocean. As you look back down, you find Rudy standing next to you, looking very perplexed.
Oh, he's up in the crow's nest?
Yep, he's up in the crow's nest with you.
Hello there, Rudy.
Hello.
That was a weird hello.
I am you from the future.
Oh, is that right?
Pretty sure.
All right. Well, can you give me a hand and haul me up?
Sure. Me and my 2 strength will got this. I will pull him.
All right. You reach down, grabbing onto the wrist of Gore's, and you pull her up. She's actually relatively light, which is kind of weird, because the last time you remember like anything about that, she was not this light.
Well, that was
Must've
awfully
gotten
easy
stronger.
for you, Rudy. You gained some strength since you only have one arm?
Yep. Been hitting the one-arm gym, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you are a one-armed Jim, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what else do you guys do at this point?
Receiving incoming transmission.
So-
We should look around. Do you guys want to look around some more? See if we can find Kitlin.
I'll look down and yell at Kusrak, going, hey, I'm up here now.
Okay. As you turn around, I'm assuming to find him.
Yeah, because he's looking inside the cabin's quarters.
Yep, that is true.
So he was at the door.
Okay. You kind of turn around and look up to see not only Gore's, but also Rudy up in the crow's nest.
Oh, hey guys. Wait, weren't you just... I turn around and look back and there's no one there. How'd you get up there? You've got the what? Some shenanigans going on in here.
It's Rudy's fault.
Do you guys need some help down?
Nah. We'll tie our 2 bad hands together and we'll climb down with 2 hands.
Okay. That's a plan.
Alright.
So, Christina, as you fall asleep, or Kitlin, as you fall asleep, your dreams are of home, of all the familiar scents and smells and tastes associated with it. In your dream and in real life, it kind of makes you a little homesick. And as you kind of are reminiscing about this in your dream, you find yourself getting up out of your bunk to go and, I guess, do whatever it is that you're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
Well, I'm not sick, am I?
Strangely, no. You don't appear to be... You don't think that you've got any seasickness.
Alright, so I'm gonna look around to see if I'm still in the boat.
Okay. As you look around, you notice that the boat has changed. Where before you had seen like mops and like dirty water and just like sweat-filled orcs, etc., kind of around you. Now you see a crystal clean ship. It looks almost like it was just built literally that day, and has not touched any sort of dirt or anything else ever.
Nice. No crew or anything?
Nothing. You don't... All you hear is creaking of the wood above you.
Okay, that's weird. I'm gonna go and get up and see where we are.
Okay. As you guys up top are kind kind of now talking, like trying to figure out a way to get down, you see Kitlin come up from the underneath the ship.
Oh, hello there. Welcome. I was just about to look for you.
Why are you in my dream?
Dream, what are you guys talking about?
Why are you in my dream? I'm smelling home. Homesick. I'm
It
gonna
has
sleep.
that effect on many women.
Whatever. Am I still smelling home? I'm gonna look out.
As you look out, you see a crystal clear ocean. Like it is just glass as
Are
far
we
as you can
moving?
see. Yes. As you kind of look down towards the water where the ship sits, you can see the barest of ripples as the ship passes through the water.
I'm just gonna yell at the top of my lungs. What is going on? And I'm looking up to the sky. Like, why?
Well,
What's going on?
If you want a response, you actually...
I'm waiting for a response.
As you continue to look at the sky, nothing seems to change. The boat gently rocks back and forth a little as it sails through the crystal clear and glass-like water. What do you guys wish to do?
Are there any animals in the ocean? I mean, we should be able to see it if it's that clear.
As you kind of look down into the water to try and spot animals, you do in fact see a few animals. Essentially what you see following the ship underwater are dolphins.
Ah,
But they don't ever seem to surface as you watch them.
alright. So why are we here?
Hold up, I'm still in the crow's nest, right?
Yes, you're still in the crow's nest.
Alright, so in the crow's nest. So you know what? Since I just disappeared and reappeared, I'm just gonna imagine myself floating and jump off the side of the crow's nest and see if I float.
Okay.
I am definitely watching and am prepared if he's flat.
All right. So
I'm actually get.
And just
Go ahead.
Just so you know, I'm in a bad place of the highway where it's really hard. It's breaking up and dropping me.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna set a barrier on the ground that's bouncy. It looks like he's gonna drop.
All right.
Yeah.
When he goes to cast a spell, I'm gonna tell him don't, because you may cast a spell in the real world where your body's at, and maybe mess up the ship.
Okay.
You just never know. You might be asleep casting.
All right. So Gores, you kind of step over the railing and jump off, picturing yourself floating to the deck. At first, you seem to plummet, but then as you continue to kind of focus on it, the dream somewhat shifts for you, and you find yourself just feather falling slowly to the deck where you land.
All right, I'm gonna try to imagine myself going up.
Nothing really seems to occur.
I go, well, it sort of works.
Well.
I imagined myself floating to the deck, and it worked.
Oh, did you?
Yep, so I'm guessing this landscape is the dream world.
Did you do, like, the imagination thing?
I did. I imagined I was in the Speed Force with the Flash, but it didn't quite work.
As you guys sit there debating about... As you guys sit there debating about dream elements, etc., you guys hear a piercing whistle.
That was pretty good, Nick. I'm impressed.
Thank you. As you guys look towards the front of the ship, you see an old man, extremely old. Long white hair, sunburnt skin, with a fisherman's hat made of straw. And he's got his fishing pole over the front, and he just appears to be fishing.
I'll walk up to him.
Okay. Oh, no. He's an old man fishing.
Could be Captain Ahab for all we know.
Oh, I got a question.
What's up?
It could be like level 1 million.
Do we have all our stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Could be some weird dream shit, huh?
Oh, shit. Hold on, Jay. Hold on.
I'll
Anyway.
walk up to him.
Stupid thing.
All right. So he kind of turns towards you as you approach. He smiles and he puts a finger to his lips as he winds the fishing reel back up and then casts back into the ocean again. But he doesn't say anything.
He just told me to be quiet. Okay. I'll be quiet while he's fishing. I'll just sit down beside him.
Okay. After a few minutes more of fishing, he passes the rod to you. And he makes a motion like telling you to fish.
I'll start fishing then.
Alrighty. So what are the rest of you doing?
So now Christina's fishing?
Yep, Christina is now fishing with an old man.
Well, shoot. Wait, and the old man's not fishing anymore. What's he doing?
He's sitting there watching her.
Hey, old man, you're starting to creep me out. You're checking her out like you're going to jump her.
He just kind of gently smiles in your direction.
So
And-
when we get out of here, old man?
He doesn't reply. He just motions all of you to come forward.
I guess we're all going to go for it. Or I am. I'll go for it.
I will be semi-forward, just close enough to, within like a couple steps.
Okay? And Rudy.
I don't know, man. I'm all by myself with these NPCs. I don't have a beetle. I'm scared of old people. Oh, shit.
All right. So anyway, you're aboard the same ship they are. This isn't one you can see. I don't have a map for it, so you kind of have to
Old
picture it.
people are terrifying.
Okay, so you're just staying where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you two go to make a step forward, etc., to essentially go as far as you guys dare, the whole ship shudders, and the old man's smile turns to a frown. He essentially starts motioning you like rapidly, come here.
I do.
Okay. Tyson?
I look at my animal kit. Got any ideas?
As you look down at your companion just kind of shrugs.
It shudders, huh?
Yep, just shudders.
I don't want to cast any spells in here, and there's nothing else to do, so I guess I got nothing to lose.
Okay. Rudy.
So I'll run up on the old man.
Okay.
Oh, man. Now I've got two terrifying things off in the distance. Old people and gores. Do I have a beetle yet?
Your beetle's there kind of chilling on the deck, but it's not your big beetle. It's actually the small one from before.
Gotcha. Well, I'll put him in my pocket, and we will go bravely forward.
Okay. As you guys come forward...
bravely.
Okay. As you guys come forward, the sea begins to roil again. The waves discordant. And capped with white tips. You see the dolphins from before, though this time as they are swimming, they are essentially being flung out of the water and kind of hurled away from the ship. The old man, as you guys approach, he stands up as though he's going to say something. Lightning strikes down into the water in a deep, deep black storm that comes literally out of nowhere. Seems to just hit this area around you, causing the ship to shudder and shake. As you guys kind of continue to hold your footing, and you're not sure exactly how you're holding your footing, based on how the ship is essentially bobbing in the water. You guys look towards the old man, and you hear him, or not hear him, but you see him appearing to try and shout something at you. You're not sure what he's trying to tell you, but you guys wake up. Go ahead and place yourselves around the ship where you would actually be sleeping.
I am on the table. It's like
Okay.
the safest place for me.
Not over there, that's for sure. What's up here?
Oh, where's the captain's quarters?
The captain's quarters, hold on, I'll just open up the deal here. So if you're in the captain's quarters, you're actually, you're not in that main section because it's not actually connected. You are going to be more back here.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll be back here.
Okay.
Taking a nap.
As far as Gores is concerned, where would Gores be sleeping?
I would be in the cruise below deck.
Okay, Rudy, is that where you'd be sleeping? Is kind of right there?
I think I'm hiding under the crate after being thrown left and right by the current. You know, I'm not very big. You know, I don't have the weight to support the...
Okay, as you all wake up, you hear panicked cries from above up on the upper floor, on the upper decks.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the ship also shudders, and you hear cracking sounds as though the wood is being broken.
Oh, no, I can't swim.
It's a kraken! I love krakens! Woo!
You hear that coming from the crew sleeping area. You hear discordant cries from the other crew that were sleeping there. Are you serious? And you see them, those of you who are there, see them donning their boots as fast as they can. Some of them not even dressed, and running up to head outside to try and see what's going on.
I'm chasing after
Is going out.
Am I back to being
going out.
Say what now?
Am I back to being sick again?
Oh yeah, as soon as you wake up, it's back to nauseous.
Then I'm not going up anywhere.
Okay. All right, so you head out. Tyson, you're following him up. Kustrak, you're following him up too, right?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
so
screaming at the top of my lungs.
go ahead and move yourself to
Go ahead,
whichever
go ahead.
stairs you're going up with.
What?
Move yourself to whichever of the stairs here or here you're going up with.
That one. That's
Okay.
probably the fastest, the closest one.
Okay, so you guys pop up to see the crew. You see several of them have actually started taking the ballista, and they are frantically trying to whir them into place, which is difficult because there's a pretty hefty storm going on right now. In addition to that, the captain is shrieking and crying out orders for how he wants the ship positioned, etc. He is trying to bring the sails up, as you guys notice that you're in a pretty, not a really bad storm, but it's not particularly good either.
I yell out, "Why are we manning them?" Or the ballista.
As he turns to answer, you see 4 tentacles come out of the water and wrap around the ship and start to squeeze.
Well, that was super robot.
Yeah, he's breaking up. He said, "I knew it."
Oh, okay.
As the tentacles kind of grab a hold of the ship, one of them actually grabs a hold of one of the orcs and essentially grabs him and then like drags him underwater.
Oh, fuck.
After
I'm
a
going
few
back under deck. See you later.
after a few seconds, the tentacle returns, but with no orc.
Great. Can I start attacking this thing? Should we roll like?
Everybody, if you want to start a fight, roll initiative.
I am am
Are
sick
we-
and I cannot.
Oh, you're still gonna roll initiative, Christina.
I know.
Cool or vigilant?
Cool.
Cool.
You guys aren't necessarily surprised,
That's
per
for
se.
me. And that's for Tyson.
Okay, so
It's the same roll.
2 and
Okay.
2. 1.2 for Krylok.
Tyson, what's your cool? Do you know?
He's probably in an area where he dropped and we're just not seeing it yet. Okay. Let's see here.
2.2 for Tony, 1.2 for Aaron, and 2 for me and Tyson. You go on 0.2.
Oof. Let's hope that's the Kraken and not our allies.
It is. We only can hope, right?
Yeah, we can only hope. No, that one's our allies. Yeah.
Or that could be the Kraken. Either way, we go first.
Alright, so starting with Aaron.
With me.
Or, Tony, sorry. Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My little beetle buddy's still hanging out somewhere. Is he in my pocket? Probably not.
Let me actually grab your beetle because he'd be here on the ship. Did I not make his token already? I had better have made his token.
I don't think Tony found a picture for us.
I was going to use that other one that we had as a placeholder.
Okay.
It does not look like I created a token. So let me just do this then. Okay, that is your beetle.
That is a big NPC. Oh man, and it's my turn to go first. Crap. Well, I guess I will, being all one-armed and valiant, ask my beetle politely, can you ram one of those off the boat?
Alrighty. The beetle seems to comply. And which one are you? Oh, that one there.
Heck yeah.
Alright, go ahead and roll the attack.
Oh jeez.
You got this.
Hold on, I was not prepared for this. Alright, yep, I got you. What's the difficulty? Anything?
The difficulty is going to be an easy, so 1 purple.
Wipe.
Nice.
He booped that tentacle. Good job, little man. Or
Nicely
big man.
done. So how much damage are we talking here?
It says it's 6. I don't know if it does anything for successes.
Yes, so each uncancelled success minus the first one adds 1 to the damage.
So 7 total. Heck yeah. And it has Pierce 3. I don't know what that.
Alrighty.
That means it ignores 3 soak.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Alright, so the tentacle withdraws, bleeding, as the scarab's horn pierces into its flesh. From under the water, you hear a reverberating.
Then I probably feel that under the water.
Yeah, you definitely feel it.
Shit. What was that?
Alright. I have a really bad idea, guys.
Alright, so what are you doing? Because it is now
It's not my
going to
turn.
be... it's going to be Christina's turn.
Sick as a dog. But panicking, because I just felt this under the water.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Kushrok,
run upstairs and
yellow.
find out what's going on, even though I'm sick. I'm just drawing my courage and boom.
Okay, so you run up the stairs. As you get up to the top of the stairs, you see a storm has kind of hit the ship. Rain is just pouring everywhere. In addition to that, you see a tentacle flailing out in the water, and then 3 more like grasping the ship and reaching around trying to grab onto different things.
Alright, I'm gonna go to this one
Okay.
and shoot that one.
Are you on the ship? I don't see you.
I'm over here down below.
There you go.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
See? Run there.
Okay.
What do I roll?
Whatever you're attacking with. I'm assuming since you're running close, you're trying to stab him.
Well, yeah, I might as well. He's not aware of me anyway, so do I use the skullduggery or not?
I think so.
Yes. In this case, if it's an attack and you have that ability still, it'd still be your skullduggery.
Okay, awesome. And what's the difficulty?
Just a regular melee attack, right?
Yeah, it's just easy.
Easy, alright.
Maybe.
Three and 1.
All right. How much damage do you deal?
See, for every success. So it's initial 6 plus.
So 8.
Yes.
All right. So as you stab into the rubbery flesh with your dagger, the first thing you notice is that the flesh, one, is rubbery. It's a little tough, but your dagger, luckily, you have an element of surprise almost to it, and you stab down with it, and you hear another reverberating underneath the water as the tentacle flails away from the ship.
I cannot swim. I am not going down with you, you asshole.
Alrighty.
And then can I move backwards away from the tentacle after I've done the attack?
Yes, take 2 strain, but yes.
Okay. Then I move away, like, over here.
Okay, go ahead and move yourself. Alright, so you kind of back yourself up against the railing. Actually take an additional 2 strain to do that because you're seasick doing this.
Yes, okay.
So you take
Done.
total of 4 strain.
Yep,
Okay.
I already did. Mm-hmm.
Alright, so after that would be Gors' turn. Gors, who is not here, I have no idea stats or anything, so Gors kind of like comes back this way. And stays near the railing as the tentacles sweep around trying to grab a hold of people. After Gors, it goes to Kustrak.
Okay, Kushrok wants to augment himself so he can move freely underwater.
Okay. So.
Okay, what's difficulty?
Alright, so this is going to be magic.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so augment is normally 2 purple. Because you want to be able to move around underwater, I'm assuming you're going to use Swift, which will allow you to swim faster and not take penalties to swimming.
Yeah.
That comes out to be hard check. Now, in addition to that, circumstances make it difficult for you to concentrate. So one of those purples is going to be a red. Are you wearing heavy armor that gives you +2 soak or more?
Yes.
You take 1 setback for that. So essentially you're going to be rolling 1 red, 2 purples, and 1 black.
Use the story point.
Okay.
Alright, it's time for me to go, guys.
Alrighty.
Story points upgrade greens, right?
Yes, they changed them from green to yellow.
But I don't have any greens as I'm rolling.
Then it would add you a green.
Mm-hmm.
I will use the story point. This is downgraded once because of my thing. So
Yep.
Don't yell at me. Oh no.
Okay.
Hey, at least it doesn't cause strain.
Okay.
Jeez.
That sucks. That's the
Nice
second
knowing you.
that's the second despair for tonight.
For you,
That I've rolled.
Aaron
I've
alone.
rolled them both.
Wow, Aaron.
I suck at this game tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dice gods are not with you tonight.
Or with me.
Or any form or function. Okay.
Wait, that's the success on that green. Why is that not showing up?
Because of the despair. The despair is
Yes.
treated as a failure, but
Yes.
it's also its own thing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Okay.
So we're gonna do two strokes.
Okay, so your spell works. Kind of.
Ish.
It works. The problem is now you're a water-breathing creature, essentially on the deck of a ship with no water.
Well, I'm gonna heat myself off the edge because that was my plan anyway.
Yep.
I'm gonna run to here and
Jump off. Okay, as you
then
do,
walk.
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
As you do, let me roll for this thing to see if it can grab a hold of you before you do, because that's going to be the despair part. What is your brawn?
My brawn is, I think it's 3. Let me check. Brawn is 3. Yes.
Okay. Nope.
Ooh,
You're very, very lucky.
What?
All right, so you leap off the ship, and you hit the water. As you hit the water, you realize too that not only are you a creature of the water, but you chose, essentially your spell worked too well and chose the wrong kind of water. You're not a saltwater animal, you're a freshwater.
God damn it.
So your gills are burning at the moment. But luckily the thing never got you, so there is that.
And I'm just gonna like aim my axe at the thing like as I'm straining in pain.
Okay. Now I'm gonna show you a picture of it. That way you can kind of see what you're looking at underwater.
Okay.
So there we go. That's what I want. All right, so this is what you specifically see because you're the only one who can see it under the water. Let's see.
Give it a sec to load, because my internet's being slow. Oh, cool. Yeah, great, perfect. Yeah, this thing's cool.
Alrighty, so that's what you see under the water. Your first movement was to get into the water, etc. Your action was to change. So are you going to use another movement to try and get closer? So that next round you can strike at it?
Would I have to use 2 movements to strike at it? Or can I just move?
Casting the spell was your action. If you'd like to wait...
Right. So, yeah, but will I have to move twice to make it to where he is? Will I have to spend...
No, not in this case.
Next turn to hit it. Okay, cool. Then no, I'll just... uh, stay there
Okay.
and hope he doesn't eat me.
Alrighty. So that brings us to the tentacle's turn. Alright, so the tentacles move back closer to the ship and begin kind of wrapping themselves around.
We're gonna drown.
Alright, so this tentacle grabs a hold of another one and drags it under the water. And that's that one's turn. Kustrak, you see an orc struggling in this creature's grip. And the creature brings it down. You see a big beaked, or not a big beaked mouth, but its mouth open up with its razor sharp teeth, and it crunches upon the orc, tearing it in two. The blood swarms, and you see a small group of sharks come in and eat the remains very quickly before this creature has a chance to eat them. And they kind of dart in, grab, and dart away very quickly.
Okay. Great. Cool.
Alright, next tentacle. Let me just save this, because otherwise it's going to be a pain. This tentacle reaches for the beetle and is unable to grab a hold. Though when it comes in, it actually kind of pushes the beetle back a little ways from the railing. The next tentacle reaches up, grips another orc, and brings him out swinging over the water. Not yet under the water, however. The final tentacle comes in, doesn't get this one, but it crushes this ballista in its grip.
Ooh.
So that ballista is no longer usable. Alright, that is the tentacle's turn. Tony is not here. Luckily, I have his sheet.
Isn't it the entity
The
turn?
orc's turn?
Oh, yes, the orcs. Thank you, I forgot. The orcs wildly man the bolts, and then they shoot, hoping to deal some sort of damage to this creature. Actually, that's going to be upgraded as well. The first orc shoots its ballista at the tentacle and just completely and utterly misses as the ship suddenly drops out below the orc's feet and he shoots wildly up into the air. The next orc, the only other one on a ballista that can actually hit it. Manages to actually nail the tentacle that it was aiming for. You hear the reverberating under the ocean. For Kustrak, you actually see the mouth kind of open this way, and it roars, its eyes kind of lazily looking at the ship. But otherwise, it doesn't do anything else significant.
Okay.
And that is the orc's turn. These orc rush forward to try and grab a hold of ballista, to try and shoot at the remaining tentacles on their next go-round. Alright, so top of the round, Tony's turn. Though he is not here, so his beetle charges the tentacle, flying at the tentacle, because the tentacle is kind of out in the water to an extent. Or no, it's on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It charges.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, brawn. Okay, where's its... Where the heck is its... Oh, there it is. Okay, so 3. Okay, so 1 yellow. Yellow, green, green, purple. Set back.
Nice!
I
Alright, so it pierces that, dealing a total of 8 points of damage. Pierce 3.
wait.
You hear the creature under the water again. And that's Rudy's turn, because he can't really attack anything. Which leads us into Christina.
Alright, going up to the one with the beetle
Okay.
and attacking it.
Alright, go ahead and roll.
How many, a purple, what else?
So it's going to be a purple and a setback due to the roiling of the ship. What'd you get?
5
You got a
successes
triumph
and advantage
and 5 successes.
and a triumph.
Hello?
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah, I hit this patch, and all of a sudden I went to extended phone service.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm like, fuck, man. And if I'm passing all these small towns on my way to Houston through southwest Texas,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, boom, dead.
Right.
So 5 successes, an advantage, and a triumph.
Alright, so how would you like to do this?
I'm gonna slice it up as best I can.
Alright, so you go to town with your dagger, just turning this thing into sushi. Bits of rubbery flesh essentially go flying off into the water. The roaring and reverberating gets that much louder as the tentacle slips below the water.
Did this one up here get friggity fuck too, or did it just take a guy down?
It just took a guy down.
Okay.
Wait, hold up, how'd the guy get taken down?
The tentacle grabbed him.
Tentacle.
Can I do something since I was kind of like gone the entire time?
It's your turn now, so yes.
Do I still see the guy that's about to go under?
No, he's completely under the water. He's already been eaten.
There's this one that's about to go under.
Yeah, there is another one that's in the tentacles of the creature.
Dang. Alright, let's shoot. Trying to think. There's all kinds of spells I could do, just kill it, but if it has people in its arms, I don't want to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I guess I just want to just cut its tentacle off.
Okay.
So that way the sailor is saved.
Okay. You're going to need to roll the attack.
Let me know what you
Yeah,
need.
I'm just going to use this spell. What would be the difficulty on a spell to just cut the tentacle?
It's going to be an attack spell, because you're not just going to get to automatically cut this thing's tentacle off. So,
Yeah, I know.
where it's at from you is going to be short range, so 1 purple for that. You kind of have to tell me what you're doing here. Your magic.
I don't get a purple for short range for spells. Spells already include short range with their initial purples.
Right. So I need to know what you're trying. Like, I know you're trying to cut it off, but is there like a? Do you already have a pre-built spell for this, or do you need me to build it?
Yeah, I guess I do. I'm in a part of the highway I can look. Let me see here. Spells. Don't want to do that. Oh, that would be a cool spell to use right now, but no. Let's see here. Huh. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Hell yeah.
You're breaking up.
No.
Okay.
You're-
Okay, it's just me.
Curse of Doom.
Okay, so Tyson, you're in a bad spot. I'm getting like every fifth or sixth word.
Dang it.
Heard you loud and clear then.
Yeah, that one I heard you perfectly.
Well, the bars are getting better. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, go ahead and tell us real quick before they get worse.
All right, I'm going to do a curse that does doom on it. So, it costs 4 purple.
Okay, so what's your skill ranks, or what are we rolling for you?
I'll get 2 yellows, 3 greens, and a boost.
Okay.
So 2 yellow, 3 green, and a boost.
Yep.
With 4 purple. Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
Nick, anything else?
As far as for curse, that's it.
Alright, got it.
So many dice.
And I rolled better than you did.
All right, you got 1 and 1.
Advantage.
1 success and 1 advantage?
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to remove a green dice from all of its rolls, and I can change any 1 dice it rolls to another facing.
Right.
But I can't, if it gets critical success or critical failure, I can't change those.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So just keep that in mind when you roll for it. So maybe the sailor will now have a better chance getting out of its grasp.
Okay. All right, so let me put this on. That's a cursed token look. All right, so that is Tyson's turn. So
I would explain what it does, but since my audio is so bad.
No worries. After that, it goes to Tony.
No, I thought it was Kustrak.
Well, Tony's got a... Oh, yeah, Kustrak. It is Kustrak, because the beetle already attacked.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kustrak.
Okay, I'm going to swim right up to its face.
Okay.
And, what was I going to do? I was going to... Shoot, forget. Right, I was going to make it so that it cannot... how do I explain this? Make it so that it cannot, curse it in some way where it can't do a, where it needs to, bounce or bail or, make it so it can't breathe salt water and give it the same.
Okay, so you want to mess it up, too, that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, let me take a look here and see.
Curse costs 2 purple within short range.
Okay, so in this case, you're trying to curse slash augment. So, let's see here. Oh, that's gonna be 4 purples right off the bat. You're trying to... Okay, so yeah, just 4 purples. Keep in mind that this is going to be 1 red, 3 purples, 1 setback, and because you're underwater, you're not able to speak, so that's actually going to be 3 setback.
Cool. Sorry, boy.
3 additional setbacks?
No, total. 3 total.
Oh, Kustrak's under the water?
Yeah,
yes!
he essentially turned himself into a freshwater fish in the ocean. He got a despair.
Wow.
Oh, dang it. That was so close.
That was a good effort. All right, so as you swim in close to try and do this, essentially the tentacle that was dropped underwater and very badly injured, essentially it comes down and it partially bumps you. And when it does, it's not like a gentle bump like you or I would do. It's actually more like it kind of thumps you on the back of the head. completely and utterly just disrupting your focus at all.
Okay.
And it also causes you to inhale more salt water, which in turn gives you one more strain on addition to the 2 from casting the
Great.
spell.
I'm going to use my regeneration to get 2 back. My
'Kay.
encounter ability.
Okay. Alrighty, so that is Kustrak's turn, which puts us on the tentacles.
Yep.
Alrighty, so you guys see one of the tentacles come back up from under the water, sans an orc. The one that has the orc, let's see if he can get the orc under the water, because the orc's fighting here. It removes a green. Yep, I know. Well, in this case, it's actually going to be easier for that side too. Throw in a setback for the struggling. Anybody want to throw in a story point?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm underwater.
There's your story point.
I'm very
All right.
quickly drowning.
Luckily, the tentacle is having some issues between the curse and the struggling orc, who's basically trying to hold on to the railing so that he doesn't get sucked under. And then just everything that's going on, the tentacle isn't necessarily able to pull him underwater this turn. Though he is looking extremely panicked.
Hey, that yellow dice.
Mm-hmm.
Can I swap it? Is there a side that has nothing on it?
Yes.
I'll switch it to a side that has nothing on it, because that's what my Doom does.
Okay, it really doesn't change the results any.
Well, he doesn't have an advantage anymore.
Okay.
Actually, he has a threat.
Yeah, it ultimately wouldn't really change it. The orc's still holding on, and in fact, the tentacle is now just kind of slipping a little bit because it's trying to get used to this curse.
Well, yeah, it causes him more strain, so the strain damage will eventually over time.
That's true.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, that's that tentacle. This other tentacle goes in to attack again. And is successful. It comes in, it grabs another orc.
Wait, you made another roll, so I'll turn that the 2 successes to nothing.
It doesn't work with this one. It only works with the one tentacle.
Oh, I thought I doomed all of it.
No.
The creature.
This creature is way too big for that curse to affect it all. And the way this is set up, each of these tentacles is its own thing. So, unless you want to fight the entire Kraken today.
I'm working on it.
Alright, so the tentacle has a hold of the guy. He's screaming as he's trying to fight it off. That's its turn, which leads us to the orcs. Alright, let's see how they do. 3.
Even them.
Let's see, so it was... What was I rolling for him before? Oh, red, purple, and... Okay. Red, purple, and setback.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh.
Yeah.
The first orc manages to stab the tentacle with the ballista. Second orc goes to shoot the same tentacle. Oh! And unfortunately, due to the way that the fighting has been going, etc., the rolling of the ship, this one goes down. Next one has no tentacle that it can shoot. The one after that goes for the one that has a tentacle with an orc in it. And completely and utterly misses as he tries not to hit his companion. This orc runs for that ballista and tries to aim.
Nice.
And successfully strikes the tentacle.
Yes! Go crew members NPCs!
Alright, that is their turn. Which leads us into the top of the round. Tony. Beetle goes flying at this tentacle to try and assist.
Beetle power! Wasn't there a theme song for VW Bug back in the day? That'd
Yeah.
be really cool to play right now.
I wish. I don't have it, so. Okay. And the beetle stabs the tentacle.
With which appendage?
One of the horns.
Oh, okay. Just making sure it was a horn.
Alright, that is Rudy's turn, which brings us into Christina.
I'm going for that same. Same tentacle that's got the orc.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
One purple, one setback.
In this case, yes. How much damage?
Whatever, so 7, 8.
Alrighty. The tentacle writhes as you slice into the rubbery flesh. You hear under the water.
I'm not going
He's
to.
angry. He's angry.
Alright. Next up is Gores. Gores.
Can I go after Kustra? Because I have an exit in like 1 minute.
Yeah, that's fine. Kustrak, you're up.
Kushrak come up to the guy and take a swing at his stupid thick with his big ol' axe.
Alrighty. So, the difficulty for this is going to be a red and 2 setbacks.
And then I am duelist, so I get a blue.
Okay. Nicely done. How much damage?
That is, 8 damage, 2 pierced.
Okay. So you swing the axe underwater. As you do, the axe is extremely slow. This is obviously not the weapon for underwater fighting.
Yeah.
Alright. As you slice the axe through the body, you find yourself more pushing it than actually using momentum to try and, like, slice it through. The creature looks very as you do that, the creature's eyes both kind of focus in on you. And it lets out a roar.
Oh, it's definitely angry.
But it can't do anything.
I'm angry.
So what are you going to do? Because it looks like you just kind of scratched it at this point.
Hmm? Right? Get the Taco Bells. What the hell? Burger King.
Yeah, I'm
Look at
just
the
gonna.
cigarette hot dog. The
I'm just gonna-
man.
Hello?
Hi, we can still hear you. I'm just waiting for whoever's talking on Tyson's deal to
Sorry.
stop talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
I heard that.
All right,
Is it
so
my turn?
no, go ahead, Aaron. Continue.
Oh. I'm gonna stay there, and I'm just gonna like ready up.
Okay.
End my turn.
All right, so now it is Gores' turn. Go ahead, Gores.
I don't know what the difficulty would be, but isn't it lightning and storming right now?
Yes.
So, man, this would be cool. So I want to see if I can cast a spell speaking demonic language,
Okay.
and have lightning come down and strike the tentacles.
All right. So you want to try and use the natural elements to help you in this, then?
Yeah, and shock the crap out of it.
Okay, I'll allow it. That sounds pretty cool. All right. So, because this is going to be an attack spell, let's see. You're going with lightning damage. So that's going to be 2 right there. Range, you're close enough. I'm assuming you're going to empower this to make it stronger.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to put it at 4 purples based off of that.
Okay.
I'm going to actually upgrade 2 of those purples to reds just because of circumstances, and then you're also trying to use the natural elements of lightning, which is one of the harder spells to use. Alright, so 2 reds, 2 purples, and yeah. Let's see how this goes.
So
All right.
what?
Do I get a boost since like there's already electricity in the air to make it easier to cast it?
Yeah, I'll give you a boost.
The 2 yellow, 3 green.
I'm also going to throw in a setback, though, too, because there's a lot of lightning in here. So this is going to be kind of, oh shit, I'm channeling natural lightning.
So 2 yellow, 3 green, and
No.
boost.
No.
Tell me
I'm
what.
gonna use my once a game ability where my spell casting equals my intelligence, the brilliant ability. So roll 5 yellow, 2 boosts, and 1 setback. I don't know whose mic that is.
That's mine.
All right, so roll 5 yellows, 2 boosts, and a setback.
Plus 2 reds and 2 purples.
2 purples, right?
All right, got it.
All right, you channeled the lightning, like straight up. All of the hair on your body, what's left of the hair.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Once per game session, I can remove a purple dice. For my heroic ability, I'll get rid of that failure, so I get a success with 2 strain.
Okay. All right, so you channeled the natural lightning in the air. As you sit there and you cast, you can feel the opposing electrons come crashing back together. As you do, you direct the lightning into the tentacle. I'm assuming the one that's holding the NPC, right? The orc, the one that you cursed.
Oh, I was trying to do multiple targets, but I guess I can't.
If you'd gotten advantages, I would have allowed it, but no advantages, so.
I should have just done a normal attack.
Oh, don't worry, it still did a buttload of damage to this thing.
Yeah, it'll do 15 damage.
Okay.
Wow.
Alright, so. Unfortunately, because the orc is still in the grasp of that as well, the orc takes some of that too. Not a lot, thankfully, because of the rubbery skin and kind of what he's wearing. So the orc essentially, while the tentacle just zap, massive bolt of lightning hits it. The tentacle immediately goes below the water as you hear another very loud roar.
Okay, I'm gonna do my my once per encounter, and I'll get 2 strain back.
Okay.
So I've suffered 4 strain this combat so far.
Okay. Alright, so that is that turn. Next up is... that would be the Kraken's turn. Alright. The tentacle releases this guy. He clambers back aboard, and it sinks below the water. The other tentacle does the same thing. You hear a mighty roar as the water swells underneath the ship.
Bring it.
Kustrak, I need you to roll me a coordination check. Daunting coordination check.
Daunting coordination check. He's coming for me. All right, let's go.
Daunting
Cool.
is 4. Purple.
Let's go. I got this. I got this.
All right, you are battered and buffeted as this creature like snaps right next to you. The water swells as it like rushes up to try and get you as well. The boat is lifted clear of the water and slams back down and actually kind of spins in the water. You guys hear creaking timber followed by an actual snap as one of the actual sail timber deals falls overboard and into the water.
Do we need to roll coordination?
Yes. Everybody on board, roll me a hard coordination check. I've got Rudy since I've got his deal. The beetle's
All right.
flying, so it's not going to have to. Lucky beetle.
Lucky beetle. Cool. A yellow and 2 green. Oh, should be fine. Should be. Tyson, what's your coordination?
1 green.
Alright.
Yeah, Rudy doesn't succeed.
Oh, I rolled 1 less purple. Hang on. Want me to re-roll those?
Yeah, re-roll it.
Alright. That's mine. Ah! Water! There's Tyson's. Fuck!
All right, Tyson, you succeed, but you take 4 strain as you grip a hold with your hand onto the rigging of the ship, trying to maintain your position. Essentially what's happening is you're flung about and you look like a kite, but you're at least able to stay. Kitlin, from your position, you are flung overboard, and you splunk right into the water.
No, I can't swim.
Rudy, for his part, yep, he's overboard with you as well. Ploosh, into the water. So, the beast essentially turns the ship, and as it does, it rams into you guys that are in the water and pushes you guys along. Go ahead, give me an athletics check to see if you can swim under these conditions. It's going to be a hard check with all 3 of them being reds.
I'm gonna drown.
Do I need to do it?
No, you're okay. You can essentially swim easily, so I'm not having you. Ouch.
Yeah, I'm gonna drown.
You see Christina get her head against the wood, and she just kind of slowly begins to sink. Her limbs flailed out in front of her. Christina, you take. Hold on, I got to figure out what that is for suffocation. All right.
Make sure we're not keeping characters succeed.
Okay. I'm trying to remember how much strain you take for suffocating. Or actually, it's a critical, I think, for every time you're suffocating. Go ahead and roll a crit, just because I'm pretty sure that's actually correct. It is a crit.
67.
Okay. Oh, I was right there. Oh, never mind. You're just incapacitated this round, so you're fine. So you just see her just kind of bloop, bloop, little bubbles coming out of her mouth as she slowly just kind of sinks down below the waves. Rudy doesn't succeed either, but he's not nearly as bad off. Though he is underneath the ship, like grabbing a hold of it, trying to not like get knocked out of the way. Alright, so we're going to be outside of like structured encounter. This is going to be kind of action-oriented. So, you guys still have the same thing, though. You can only do 2 moves and an action.
Okay, I'm gonna
Except
rush over
me.
to Kitlin.
Except for
I'm gonna
Kitlin,
rush
because
over to
she's
Kitlin and
unconscious.
Wake her the fuck up.
All right, so you.
Well, you see, yeah.
Okay, so you swim over to her. How are you trying to wake her up underwater?
Yeah. Good luck.
With some divine magic.
Oh, you're gonna make her a fish. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead
Turn
and.
her into a fish. It would
All
do
right.
better than I did.
All right, so go ahead and give me. Augmentation is a 2. You're trying to do that. So that'd be 3. So 3 purples.
Cool, so 2 purple. You're like a super fish, Kitlin.
All right, so Kitlin, you are no longer suffocating. You're able to breathe.
And can I
Go ahead.
use that crit success to heal myself? Give myself the guilt too?
Sure. I'll say for sake of this that you're able to, as you channel this magic in, you realize what you did wrong with yours, and you're like, oh, let me fix that real quick. And now you're breathing underwater normally instead of like painfully every breath. Though I am going to subtract an additional 2 strain for that, so 4 strain is lost.
Hey.
All right. So that's your turn. Gores, what are you doing?
Did I fail my coordination check?
No, you succeeded. You're still on board the ship. You just took 4 strain for holding yourself in place, essentially.
What? Christina got me a success?
Yeah, she got you 1 success, 4 threats.
Dear God, I'm down to like 6. I got 6 strain left.
But you succeeded.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Christina. Is there any tentacles left?
They are all underwater. Though as you kind of survey the ocean around you, you can see where the creature kind of is by the kind of splash it makes as it swims. Apparently it's setting up for something.
Oh God. Oh, can I do a barrier around the ship?
You can definitely try. So...
Yeah, I would like to do a barrier, enhanced barrier on the ship.
Okay. Describe to me how you're putting this barrier on the ship.
I'm gonna slam my hand to the deck and then create the barrier around the wood of the ship.
Okay, so you're creating this around the entirety of the ship. Got it.
Right.
All right.
So it'll come off like there's gonna be black faces all over the ship, moaning faces. Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
Okay, so what I need you to roll here, go ahead and give Christina the what you're rolling. I'll give her the other side.
Please do.
Yeah, it's just gonna be probably, if it's a normal barrier boost enhanced, it's usually around 3 or. I think
Don't worry
like
about the purples. I'll tell her the purples. You tell her what you roll. I will tell her the purples.
What the good things are. What the good dice are.
2 yellows, 3 greens, and a boost.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Christina, I'm going to be counting this off, so wait until I tell you to roll. So it's 1 for the start. This thing is like long, so it's going to be at least 2 range bands up, so that makes it a hard. Empowered, which puts it up by 2, which makes it 5, but with 1 red. Plus, the circumstances make it difficult to concentrate, so that's going to be 2 red, 3 purple.
Wouldn't that be just a setback to be hard to concentrate?
No. That if you were gagged, silenced, or unable to speak, wearing heavy armor, or you didn't have a free hand, those are setbacks. Harder circumstances give you a red or an additional purple. So, in this case, Christina, it's going to be 2 red, 3 purple.
Got it.
Can I use a story point?
Yes. Go ahead and re-roll Christina with 3 yellow, 2 green, 1 boost, and the same setback stuff that we had already.
I believe in you. I shouldn't have.
3 failures, 3 advantages.
damn it. I need to start typing while I'm driving.
Or ask somebody else to roll the dice for you.
I guess I just healed 3 strength.
Okay. As you feel into the wood, you can feel the broken sections of it, which would make it even more difficult to completely barrier the ship. In addition to that, just the effort of holding yourself in place has somewhat worn you out, and your concentration wavers. Luckily, all of the latent magic that you summoned there is able to heal you a little bit with strain. Alright, so with that, you guys see the Kraken, what of it you guys can see, come barreling towards the ship. As it comes down, or as it comes, you see the wave get lower and finally just kind of disappear, followed by it jumping out of the water. Luckily, the captain has seen it coming and turns the ship enough that it crashes into the water beside it. The problem being that it forces the ship sideways, directly into everybody in the water. All of you in the water automatically take 5 damage ignoring soak. Did you guys
Okay.
hear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 damage ignoring soak. Rudy, who is still underwater gripping onto the ship, now tries to claw his way up.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I was going to try and grab on and try and get up.
So let me roll here for the difficulty. He's going to use a story point, but I'm going to use one as well. Oh, okay, that's bad. Triumph and despair. Alright, so he's able to somewhat climb up to the water. However, as he does so, a rogue wave, or another wave, comes crashing down, forcing him kind of back under the water with no air. So he is incapacitated at this moment. Still conscious, but incapacitated as he's tumbled head over tea kettle. Or tea kettle over his head. So, go ahead, Christina, for your attempt to get out of the water, I assume.
Alright, what am I going to roll?
It's going to be a hard check. So 3
Alright.
purples. Plus a setback due to you being seasick and you cannot swim.
So, coordination?
Athletics or coordination, either way.
Alright. Yellow, green, hard, setback. How many setbacks?
1.
1 setback, 3 purple.
Yes.
Make sure I got it. Ha!
Alright, so what did you use? Coordination or athletics?
Coordination.
Alright, so as this wave kind of hits and pushes Rudy under, the swell actually brings you up to the railing where you vault over, kind of like a acrobat. You cartwheel onto the ship. Thump! Yes! I am back aboard! Woohoo!
Superhero.
However, the difficulty of that too causes you a strain because you twist kind of oddly thanks to the water. All right, Kustrock, what are you doing?
Kustrock's gonna go scoop up Rudy and try and get both of us back up on the thing.
All right, go ahead and roll the same check as Christina, coordination or athletics. You're gonna be changing one of the purples though into a red.
Do we have story points?
Actually, I'll use a story point to make another one a red. So it'll be 2 red, a purple, and a black.
Do we have story points though?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna use 1 yellow, green, green. 2 red, a purple, black. Okay. Come on, let's go.
Ah!
Luckily, you're able to get a hold of Rudy. Unluckily, the water kind of sucks down a little bit as the waves kind of roll, so you're way down at the bottom, so there's no way to climb up with Rudy in tow.
I should have asked for advantage because I could swim.
Oh well. Gores, what are you doing?
Oh well.
Do I still see?
Say what now?
Do I still see the creature or no?
It's under the water, so no, you do not see it at the moment.
How many people are left still overboard?
Two.
Two.
You have Rudy and Kustrak.
I'm gonna just try to levitate them out of the water onto the boat. Can I just cast a simple levitate spell?
Sure. So this will be a utility spell, so 1 red.
So, Christina, 2 yellow, 3 green, and a boost. And please roll an advantage so I can view people.
Yep.
How about 2? Just 2.
What did I roll?
3 and 2. 3.2.
Sweet. So I lift them out of the water onto the boat.
Yep. As you guys get lifted out of the water, essentially you feel... go ahead and describe how you're lifting them out, Tyson.
You know what? Angelic white light wraps around them with black tentacles of flames, and you see something weird coming from my nub.
All right.
As blue light arcs across my eyes and lifted up onto the deck next to me.
Okay. I will put a point of contention. One of your eyes is blue. The other one is a crimson red.
Oh. Okay.
Outside of that, it's exactly as he said. The tentacles come out of his arm. You guys are enveloped by a pure white light and then lifted onto the deck, where Rudy is sputtering. The captain calls for the sails to be dropped. That way, hopefully, you guys can outrun this, though he does not look very enthusiastic about the chances.
So are we out of combat then?
Yes.
Kustrak is gonna run back, or should we shield the ship?
Yeah.
If we work together, we might.
With us?
Say what?
Sorry, are we not dragging a mast on the side? Remember when the mast fell?
It snapped off. It is somewhat entangled, so you guys are going to have to clear it off if you want to be able to get any kind of speed. But the ship is able to sail.
I'm going to try my best to get the thing done. Yes.
Hold up. Then can I use my knowledge to see if I could possibly mend it with a spell if they were to hold it in place?
There's no way that's going to be possible. The masts are so thick and heavy that there's no way they can hold it in place.
Okay.
If they could, then it'd be possible, but it's too heavy. And it's essentially been absorbing salt water now, so it's even heavier than it was before.
Oh, and I couldn't levitate it out either.
No, not and mend it. That's going to be too much. You're going to pass out before you're able to do it.
Out?
No,
Yeah,
it is way too heavy.
Dang it.
I'm going to start cutting at the ropes. I'm telling orcs to help.
All right, so several of the crew rush to aid you with their own blades of sorts to cut through the rigging. You two...
We gotta make this boat go faster. Can I... I look at Gores and say, help me with this, and I'm going to try and... I'm going to try... Dang it, I can close that.
You're gonna try to do what?
We're going to try and make the boat be able to go faster in the water. Or levitate the whole boat. No, let's just make the boat go faster.
Well, why don't you, we can just push air into the sails and then concentrate on the spell.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. Because you're aiding one another, who wants to actually roll this?
What's your dice? I got 3 yellows.
It's 2 yellow and 3 green and a boost whenever I cast.
Okay, yeah, I think you should roll.
Alright, I'll roll.
And I'll assist you.
All right, so it's going to be 2 yellows, 3 greens, 2 blues. Actually, change one of the... No, we'll leave it at the blue. The difficulty of this, because you guys are just pushing wind into it, it's a utility spell. You're trying to do this fairly large amount. We'll put it at hard, so 3 purples.
Aha!
All right, so you guys begin pushing air into the sails. Initially, the drag of the mast makes it all very tediously slow. You guys are straining under this mast. Luckily, they managed to cut it free fairly rapidly. You guys hear a mournful bellow from behind as like tentacles come up around the mast and drag it underwater.
There goes a month of work.
So, you guys
Thanks
keep
for
this
life.
up. You guys are able to keep this up for a couple of hours. So, you guys actually help expedite the trip a little bit. A few days later, having exhausted yourselves the first essentially couple hours, like pushing this ship along as fast as you could, you guys hear the call of, "Land ho!"
Ugh. So, like, the main hull of the boat didn't get messed up?
No. Like, well, not bad enough where you guys were going to sink. It is damaged and it's going to be needing repair, but you guys are able to sail on it. They just had to have... You guys have been spending the last couple of days helping bail out water, essentially.
And being sick, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
can handle
Okay.
it.
All right.
I'm looking at the land.
All right, and this is where you guys kind of come in. As you guys come in, Kitlin kind of comes forward and is able to name the city for you. Because this is actually where she departed from, or would have departed from had she actually come the normal way.
But you never explained, how did you get on that turtle? Why were you in that crystal?
I have no idea.
Huh. Well, alright then.
As you guys sail into port, this is kind of what you see of the city. You see the docks surrounded by fairly large warehouse-looking buildings. Like, there are buildings everywhere. For Gores, and for some, well, essentially just for Gores. A little bit for Rudy, but more for Gores. You have never seen a city or a town this large. Like, this is the first time you've seen an actual city.
Cool.
And it is bustling.
As
Yeah.
soon as we dock, I am getting off that fucking boat.
Alright, so you guys essentially dock. Christina just automatically doesn't even wait for the gangplank. She just jumps from the boat onto the dock, runs to where she can see land, and begins to, like, essentially kiss it. Oh, sweet land.
Man, so quick to get on, so quick to get off. Must love to travel.
As you guys come in, you see several sailors kind of approach, to include a dock, like a dock master. They help tie off the boat. The captain essentially passes over some gold, and you guys now find yourselves in the city of Diva. On the Turtle Beak.
I need to... I could use a little information. I've never been here before. I walk up to him, like, off the boat onto the dock. I'm looking to get more weaponry and gear. Is there anywhere around here that I could acquire such?
He kind of looks you up and down, seeing as how you look like a drowned sea rat.
Because he is.
Your beard unkempt, like the whole 9 yards. You just look absolutely terrible. And you smell bad, too, because you've been at sea for a little while. And under the water in salt water.
Very confident.
I can see where you would want some new arms and equipment. I would try
This was just a bad decision.
I would try the market district.
And which way is that?
He gives you some very simple directions that should theoretically lead you to the market.
Okay.
If you
Perfect,
can't
thank
find
you.
what you're looking for there, I would check with the craftsman. They might be better suited depending on what you're looking for.
Yes, thank you very much.
He kind of looks down over at Christina, and a look of kind of distaste comes over his face. But he doesn't really say anything.
I just glare at him like, whatever.
As you guys kind of continue to look, you begin to notice something a little odd. For such a big city, you would kind of expect to see a lot of people, yes, but you're only really seeing humans. Like, you don't really see a whole bunch of other races here. Occasionally you'll see like a halfling or something along those lines walking around, but for the most part, all you're really seeing are humans.
Very diverse place here. I say ironically.
He just kind of shakes it off. We don't get many visitors here, dwarf.
But at least he knows you're a
Dang.
dwarf.
It's kind of obvious.
He kind of looks up and you see his kind of distaste come again a little more as he sees all the orcs and stuff, but he is obviously too polite to say anything about it. And he
Do
just
I notice that? It's like, really, dude? You be more obvious.
Yeah, you guys notice it. He's not trying to hide it. He's just not gonna speak up about it. As he walks away or whatever, he talks to some of his people.
Wait. Before he goes, can I have a moment?
Sure.
I go, I understand when you don't like people of other kinds. I have my own distastes of certain people. I'll pull out some gold, and I'll hand him 10 gold and go, here, for your troubles.
He looks at you, takes the gold and pockets it, and he just kind of nods and he just wanders off. As he does, he talks to some of his people. You see him mark something on his little clipboard with the stuff on it, and continues into his little office area to await for the next ship to come in. Or leave, depending.
Alright, I'm going to turn before it, I know you all want to do stuff, so I just want to get this out of the way. I'm going to turn to the captain of our ship,
Mm-hmm.
and I think all I have left on me is like 40 gold. I'm going to give it to him and go, this is for the repairs and for your crew members who can have ale for their troubles.
The captain looks at you and I can't accept that, Hero Gores.
I don't care. Here's 40 gold.
And you just
And gold.
you essentially use Shadow Hand to place it in his hand. Got it. Okay. He looks a little disconcerted when his hand just moves on its own, as though you're holding his hand and forcing it. But he takes it in eventually takes it as you push it into his hand, and we will spend it wisely.
Good. Well, then I suggest good food and good drink always helps a sailor out.
You hear that, lads? He shouts as you kind of go down the gangplank. Food and drink on our heroes. And they give a very tired hooray.
Hey.
And there was much rejoicing.
This sounds like Christina's had a lot of those. Well,
Yeah. So, what do you guys wish to do?
I'm gonna head towards them. Actually, we should probably go get those diamonds checked out first, right? All the gems and stuff.
Would I know where to get those done?
You would know at least an idea of where to go. So, I mean, you're better off than the others, because you do kind of
Yes.
know where to go.
Then I'll lead them in that direction.
Alright, so token. So go ahead and move your guys' tokens. Rudy is going to stay with the ship to an extent, because he's just doing his thing.
Did
We are
Would
like
we be able to
flying.
heal up?
before we run off everywhere?
You guys, if you want to heal, you're gonna have to get an inn because you guys haven't had a whole lot of time for like sleep or anything, based on
Okay.
like I said, not enough damage to sink you, but enough where you guys were busy the whole rest of the way.
Okay.
Though your strain is full. Your strain is 100%. Your wounds and stuff, not so much.
Okay.
So did we split up the gold that Christina counted out?
Not yet. I don't
Okay.
want to do that in front of everybody. Be a little rude.
I was just curious if
Yeah.
you did it already.
Essentially, everyone is going to get 1,250 gold.
Yes.
That's not
Oh,
enough.
1,250. Okay.
Based off of just the gold portion of the riches you guys
Okay.
claimed.
You'll be okay. I might know a way of getting one.
I need like double that for everything I want. Everything I like ideal world, everything I want.
I give him an extra 100 gold out of my own pocket just because he saved me.
You do know that carrying around that much gold outside of the bag is going to add like 5 things of encumbrance, right?
Yes.
So you might want to just keep that all in the bag. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of the bag, as you guys kind of are going, you've noticed the bag, it hasn't changed so much, but as you guys have looked in and made sure that you still have all your riches and stuff, you've noticed that it's slowly been creeping up towards the top this entire trip.
Shit.
Okay.
This is not good.
So it's
So we go
collapsed.
to the inn and we split it up and then we go spend it.
Yes.
How about we go spend it and then we go to an inn because
Yeah, we can go as a group. We'll just stick together.
yeah, I think
That's
what
fine.
we
I
should do is
can
go
turn
get
away.
yeah, we should all and then go get the gyms evaluated and then go spend our gold. I think and then to the inn,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
that's kind of that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so where are you guys headed first? You can read the stuff, so just place your tokens in whichever district you guys are trying to go towards to... I'm not going to have you necessarily roll a whole bunch of stuff
To
here.
look to spend to buy items.
Okay.
Well, Cookster knows what he wants. We can always go there first and then do Christina, and then we'll say Rudy has his gold on the boat. Mine last.
Well, I want to get the gems evaluated so I know how much gold I actually have.
Well, we can get the
See
gems
how
and
much.
spend money in the merchant, probably.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. So as you guys travel through the docks district and into the craftsman, eventually the sailors give way to not necessarily like more well-dressed people, but differently dressed people. The sailors kind of have their own look, where the craftsmen have theirs as well. You see various blacksmiths. You see jewelers. Just there are anything and everything that has to deal with crafting things. That's what you see.
I might be able to get what I want here. Perfect.
In addition to that, as you guys kind of go through, a few notable places kind of pop up for you. One of them looks like a spider weaving silk. The actual sign is what it looks like. Another one you see in gold, a sign that reads the Golden Alembic. And then as you guys travel further in, you see a shop that is closed, but it lists its hours as nighttime. You see Arnak's Mystic Wonders. Looking in through the windows, etc., you can't really see much, but you can see just past the window, essentially, where the displays and stuff would be usually. You see rolling hills change into, like, lightning storms, change into, like, deep forests. It's very beautiful to look at.
I could sit here and watch this all day. I actually have done that once before. Caught. Anyway.
Is this where you grew up, Caitlin?
I don't just.
Yes. Come on, let's go.
This guy looks expensive.
Probably is.
All right.
I was here.
So as you guys continue through, what kind of shop are you kind of looking for?
We're looking for the gem to appraise it first. The
'Kay.
gem merchant, jeweler.
All right. All right. So as you guys kind of go through, you eventually find kind of what you're looking for. You've been to this shop a few times, Christina, pawning off your wares. So that this one you're specifically looking for. As you enter, you're greeted by a human walking with a cane. You see his left leg is very, very damaged. Christina, you remember the story of how he actually got that? He actually used to be a guard for the city, and a fairly high-ranking one at that. But unfortunately, due to an accident down at the docks one day where one of the rowboats fell overboard and crushed his leg, he has never been able to do guard work again. And so he actually had to turn to... essentially went and became like a thief among thieves, kind of like that's how you kind of knew him. But he appears to have gotten married, actually, since the last time you saw him.
So
And
he's
his name?
His name is Heath.
Heath! Long time no see.
He looks at you. By the gods, is that Kitlin? Kitlin! And he kind of hobbles forward as fast as he can, drops his cane, and he literally just scoops you up in his arms as much as he can. It's good to see you, lass. Where have you been? Last I heard, you were down over by the silken spider, or the spider silk.
I woke up on an orc island encased in a gem.
Really? What were you doing, lass? I told you not to go over there that night.
I can't remember anything, sadly. Just remember little bits here and there. And then woke up and saved by a dwarf and a gnome and a orc.
I suppose that this good dwarf is the one you're speaking of, then.
Yes, and the orc.
I give a
there.
deep bow.
No need for formalities here. Come here, and he gives you a hug, too.
Oh, hello. I reciprocate the hug because I'm very, very willing to accommodate anyone.
I see you, Barry.
Yes. I got married to, he kind of blushes. I got married to Mary.
You got married to Mary. Very ironically funny.
That's very good. See what I did there.
Which means down your road. Good job.
So, what can I do you for? I assume you've come here on business, not just pleasure at seeing an old friend.
Always come for business. I have gems.
Gems? Where did you come by gems?
Long story.
Fair enough. You may have to tell me one of these evenings. I'm assuming you're home for good this time.
I hope so.
I'd hate to see you have to travel all the way back up north again. It's gotten worse, you know.
How much worse?
The lords of Albalulia, Pellis, and Fagaras have been coming down almost weekly. Apparently, their defense has started to wane in respects of having enough people to man the walls.
Are they being attacked?
As ever, yes. The undead are relentless.
Dead. I pull up my britches. Better get to that. I start walking out the door.
He grabs you. He actually grabs you on the shoulder. Hold, friend. These are not the undead that I'm sure you have known.
I can deal with it. Undead.
I have no doubt that a adventurer of your stature could handle themselves, but we are talking hordes of undead.
You don't fight the undead themselves. You just fight the king.
We just handled a kraken and an earth elemental within 2 weeks, or a month and a half.
Really?
Yes.
Kitlin, I didn't
rolled
think you
my
were the
own.
type.
Kick
Hey.
some asses. What
When I
happened?
need to get out of an island, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know.
Anyway, go ahead, Dyson. And you're pixelated.
Dang it!
And now you're not.
What I'm doing is I'm rolling my eyes, and in my head I'm going, man, they're telling the entire story, blah blah blah. We're gonna be sitting around here, yada yada yada.
I'm not gonna tell the entire story.
You guys hear kind of like a clattering as well. You drop something there. Who's holding the bag, by the way?
I would be.
Kitlin, you're dropping coins out of your bag. And you just see like a handful of coins just spill out and land on the floor.
That's why we need to see you real quick. And I pull out the gems as fast as possible.
This is a lot of gems. It will take me some time, their love, to get it all done. Do you the usual arrangement?
Yes, please.
Okay. He pulls out essentially a crate. That way you guys can put the gems in. When that crate gets full, he pulls out another one. He says, "I'll keep this in your safe there, darling." And he essentially goes and gets a wheeled cart, calls for his wife, who they both like just start loading gems as fast as they can into these crates. By the time you're done, you're sitting at something like 10 crates of gems.
Well, now they're
Busy on the island.
I got a quick question for you, sir. Is there anywhere we can buy a new bag? This one was kind of at the moment.
He like looks at it, and as he was looking at it as you were doing that, he's like, "That appears to be a fairly special bag. I would go and talk to Arnak. He deals more in the arcane items than most people here. You might be able to find a hedge witch that might be able to help you, but that seems kind of specialized."
Yes.
It was created on the fly.
That would explain why it appears that the enchantment is going down.
It is.
I highly recommend you find some way to get that fixed pronto. Otherwise, you might end up with what's in that bag on the ground. And as he says that, like 3 or 4 more gems just kind of pop out and onto the ground.
Did we free up some room?
Get all the gems out.
Did we free up some room by emptying out the bag of the gems?
Yes.
Give us a little more time before.
Yes.
Okay. And where is this Arnak? Or do you know, Kitlin?
He actually goes out and points down the street a ways where you see the magic shop that doesn't open until tonight.
Is there any way we could store this bag in another place?
If need be, I could throw it in along with the rest. However, I can't. I don't know how much. He kind of is like, "Can I look inside the bag real quick?"
You can.
He looks inside. I'm not sure that your area has enough room for all of this.
Well, my suggestion would be we go buy stuff, so it's a manageable level. So
Yes.
we probably need to go. We took out all the gems, so we should have a little bit of time before coins start popping out. So let's go where the dwarf needs it for his weapon.
Well, I need
All right,
a new
let's
weapon
go.
anyway, so.
Alrighty, so
I'm
you guys.
getting a new weapon in from.
All right, so where are you guys headed?
To the armor room.
Armor, yeah. That'll probably get rid of
Blacksmith.
most money.
Okay, that's weird. I don't know why it suddenly
I
decided
will
to do
kiss
that.
I will kiss Heath on the cheek and say thank you, and we'll be back shortly.
Always a pleasure, darling. Alright, so you guys head for the blacksmiths, who conveniently is also in the craftsman district.
Yes.
Aye, sir. Well,
Clang,
probably should go
clang,
early, actually.
clang. He turns around to quench the blade in this, and then he sees you. Be with you 1 second. Clang, 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 clang.
What's his name?
You don't recognize this guy. He appears to be new. After a second, he sets what he's working on down, wipes his already very blackened hands on a very black apron. So, what can I do you for?
Dwarf who
I'm
needs armor.
looking for I need some elven armor.
Elven armor, you say?
Elven plate armor. Very specific request, but I would prefer that. If you have any who don't have the elven, I will go with a regular. But
Hey, Tyson, do you mind muting yourself while we're doing this? Because the road noise is very, very loud. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Can't say that I have elven plate. That's fairly rare.
yeah, I suspected. Do you have any regular plate mail?
He's like, I can definitely, I've got some. I'm not sure for your stature whether or not I'll be able to accommodate. Let me go and take a look. And he starts kind of rifling through like all these breastplates, etc. that he's got, just kind of in a pile. Oh, here we go. Plate mail. He comes out and he starts kind of measuring, like, hands up, please.
I follow his orders.
Okay, and he, like, literally just starts kind of placing his hand on your clothes and measuring with his hands and leaving black soot all over you. Yes,
I'm
yes,
a little
yes.
frustrated, but...
Finally, he seems to be done. He goes back to his armor, does the same thing. Well, this should do fairly well. It might have to be a little tailored and let out, but it's fairly close.
All right, then. About how much will that be?
He starts kind of counting on his fingers. Effort, or all the materials that it took. You're looking at about 1,000 gold.
Here's your share.
All right, then. Does this come with all the tailoring that would be required? Just a little bit.
If you would like it to be tailored to you specifically, I'll have to get better measurements. And he goes and he pulls out like this really blackened looking like measuring tape. Hold still. And he gets even more soot all over you.
Don't worry, we'll go find a bath house here.
As he does, he writes the stuff down. And then he goes back to the armor and he starts marking it off in places, etc. You'll need to come back in a week. It'll take me about that long to make sure that I've got it all.
Okay. And I was looking for weapons, specifically a halberd.
A halberd.
A halberd.
I might have. And he goes over to the wall and he kind of tests a couple. Here, try this, and he tosses it to you.
I catch it and swing it around the very large range. Yes, this'll do. And about how much will that be?
He looks at it. Fairly simple design. You're looking at 250 for that one.
There's your gold.
Okay. I will. I'll pay you after I get the chest plate for the chest plate.
That's fine. Just realize for tailoring it, it's going to add about 100 gold to it.
Okay.
I'll give you 100 of my gold.
He'll get. We'll get it. We'll have the money. We don't need to worry about the money.
All right. I'll see you in a week.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes, clang, clang, working on what he had again.
Did he have any swords or daggers?
He has quite a few weapons here.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Wouldn't you happen to have some daggers?
Quite a few. Which kind are you looking for?
Ones that do the most damage.
Well, I've got these, and he shows you daggers that are fairly similar to the ones you've seen before. Nothing super spectacular about them. They look like kind of the regular dagger you used to seeing.
Yeah. Anything with more damage to it?
Well, I do have this, and he pulls out like some nicer looking daggers. Most of those daggers, let's see. Man, they really don't have much in the way of upgrades for this stuff. Go figure.
No, we don't.
All right. Okay, well, so he pulls out some nicer daggers. Essentially, these ones look like they've been crafted out of something similar to steel, but something harder too, and they've been honed much better. As you kind of pick one up out of the box, etc., and flip it around, it feels more balanced as well.
How many of these do you have, and how much?
I have, and he looks in the case and then kind of looks underneath the desk that he has. I have about 6 of them.
Ooh, I'll take them all. How much?
All right, for these daggers, you're looking at about 100 a pop.
Okay, so here's your 600 gold.
All right. He takes as you reach into the bag and just pull out 600 gold worth. His eyes just get like bigger and bigger. And he literally just drops the hammers and stuff into his apron, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And he like takes it all, and after you're done, he's got it like all in his arms, and it like coins are just kind of bouncing off the floor and rolling away. And he goes and he like deposits them literally on the table, straining as he does so because of how heavy this gold is.
Like, I've never seen an adventuring party before.
I've never seen anyone drop 600 gold like that. That's wow. Usually they bring a banknote, but do you just carry that around with you?
Cash.
We just
Yeah, cash.
got here.
He kind of looks at all of you again, and you can just see like disbelief in his face. 1 second, miss. And he goes and he pulls out like a box, and he like passes it to you with all 6 daggers in it. And you see that it's lined with like silk, etc., to keep the daggers nicer.
Ooh,
And
thank
it looks
you.
real pretty. All this stuff. He's like, the holster or the sheaths are underneath.
Okay.
Please take the box for paying cash with that. Wow. And he's just like, he looks over to Gores. And for you, miss, do you have something you'd like to request as well?
I think we lost Tyson. He's muted.
Dyson.
Because his car was loud.
Yeah, I asked him to mute, so I don't know if he's still there or not. He might have... Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, so...
Unmute myself.
Yeah, no worries. So how about you, miss? Do you have any odd requests?
Is this from the blacksmith?
Yeah,
Yes.
This is from the blacksmith.
I need someone who can do mechanical parts.
That's fine work. I can somewhat help you, but you're going to need a specialist for that.
Perfect.
I can give you, and he gives you the name of a shop.
Wonderful. I smile, and then my animal companion, all of a sudden the head is kind of sticking out of my backpack, turns towards him and winks.
And he's just like, oh god. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got to get working on these orders.
Yes.
And if you could make some more of those, like 2 more daggers, I would greatly appreciate it.
I will do my best. Christina, those daggers give you +4 damage.
Pipe.
So, anyway.
I got a defensive 1.
Yep.
I actually have a defense. I'm going to have 2 defense.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
or 5.
See? There you go. Now you're going to be much harder to hit. And you're going to sink much better in water.
I gotta get Battlecaster so I don't get the wax on my belt.
Alright, so you guys exit his shop. One of you completely and utterly covered in soot. And where would you guys like to head now?
To the inn.
Okay.
Unless Gores has somewhere to go.
I would like to go to the specialty shop, please.
Alright, we'll go there then.
Alright. As you head for the specialty shop, essentially you're greeted by some... Essentially all it is for the shop is it looks like a giant cog. Like the sign anyway. The building itself is kind of odd as well. It looks like it's been added onto over the years and then just kind of fallen into disrepair. Inside you see what appears to be a whole bunch of like gears, just plate, like metal plate kind of. Some of it, as you kind of wander by, it kind of moves a little bit, so you're sure that it's enchanted. He's got tons of odds and ends here.
Okay, who's he? Because you haven't said there's anyone here yet.
Essentially, from out of the shadows, you see this kind of old, like this really old guy come out. He just kind of very, very carefully and very slowly comes out. He has Coke bottle glasses that are like massive. They make his eyes look like half of his head in size. Yes, what do you want?
You are who I want.
Me?
I want thin gold.
Gold, you say? On what?
And I'm gonna roll out the paper that I've been working on meticulously to finish this animal companion. I'm gonna roll it out in front of him.
Ah, you are a strange one, aren't you?
Well,
Yes,
aren't we
yes,
both?
she is.
Fair point, my lady. He kind of looks over the draft. You see him bring it like right up to his goggle or his glasses, and he kind of brings it up and down so he can see it. I should be able to create this. Have you the coin?
And I'll go, how much you want?
And he looks over your schematics, etc. For this? And he kind of looks at you again. Comes like right up to you and like stands up trying to look into your face. I like you. I'll give you a discount for first-time customer. 800 gold, and it's yours.
Here.
I'll give you 1,000.
Oh, okay, so you just start piling gold onto him too then.
Oh,
Oh, whoa, hold on. I don't have the strength to hold all this gold. Put it in the crate. And you see like this little robot-looking wheel thing like kind of come up on a track. He says, just dump it in there.
And I'll dump the 1,000 gold in there.
Okay, this takes you a little while to count that much out. So, after a while, as the thing kind of tries to pick up the energy needed to move out, and it's ridiculously slow, and the wheels that it has are literally like touching the crate, so it barely moves, and you can smell like it smells acidic as it kind of tries to drag this much weighted gold away.
Man, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the bank around here. It's probably nothing but crates.
Anyway, he looks very happy with almost a skip in his step. So, would you like the pots, or do you want me to build it?
So the gold was just for the parts, correct?
Or to get built too. You did give him 1,000 gold.
you can build it.
I
That's on you.
want to help you build it.
Very good. That would be very, very good. All right.
I'll be here tomorrow.
Come in at the 9th bell.
Sounds good.
Make sure you bring lunch. I won't provide any of that. That is not part of this fee. And after that, he just kind of disregards everybody else, just turns around and just walks off to go collect parts.
What was his last part? Because he cut out.
He said bring lunch. He's not gonna. That's not part of his fee. He won't provide you food.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Well,
Gores is
cleared
never
out
aced
most
this
of our
entire
gold.
game.
As you guys kind of look, the bag does look fairly emptier. But as you guys watch, now it's starting to rapidly get closer to the top now. Even though you guys have emptied over half the gold and jewels out, it's rapidly approaching the top again.
Well, aren't all the jewels and gems gone?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're gone, but this bag, essentially the space is shrinking.
Well, I only have 150 left to my name because I gave 100 to the dwarf. So can't I hold 150 gold myself?
That's a lot of weight, boss. Like, we're talking for 150, you're probably looking at actually probably 3 or 4 encumbrance worth.
I can take
well,
8
we should
encumbrance.
No,
find
hold
a
on.
bank or a crate.
Actually, I'm going to say that's like 2 encumbrance worth, because all of your money together was 10 encumbrance worth.
Yes.
So you're looking at about 2.
I can take.
2
I
to
think
3.
I can carry the rest of it. I have 8 encumbrance, and if we got rid of most of the gems, I got plenty of encumbrance. I can carry it.
Well, if it's only 2 encumbrance, I can carry my own because I can carry 2 encumbrance worth.
Okay. So you guys start divvying it up, and as you guys do, the bag kind of splits open. Or not splits open, but the bag returns to its normal dimensions, and whatever gold is left in there, minus the stuff you guys are carrying, part of it spills out onto the ground where you guys pick it up and put it in your pockets.
I'll just carry mine in that bag.
Okay.
How much encumbrance should I have? Crank it up to like 6?
How much gold did you... Because you started off with 1250 total for everybody, split in equally. And you spent how much of it?
1350.
Okay, so you actually have no gold left, essentially. At this point, you're sitting on... Because the actual armor itself was going to be a total of 11.
Yep.
So,
yeah, 11.
Okay, so if you've got 11, you're sitting at about a 4 or 5 encumbrance. Or no, 3 encumbrance.
I don't have... I think I spent the 250. So I only have 1,000 right now.
Okay, you're looking at about
yeah.
3 encumbrance worth of gold.
Okay.
That you're kind of storing in pockets and pouches and wherever else you can carry it.
A hobo set.
Okay. As you guys exit this guy's store, and laden with your gold, because you can tell now that you guys have gold, you start to see people kind of eyeing you. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
I will stab some fuckers if they mess with me.
They've noticed Christina, and some of them, Christina, you actually recognize. Like, there's old Rat Eyes.
Yes.
And some of them, and they kind of like, oh shit, we don't want to mess with her. But some of them don't recognize you, and they're the ones eyeing you guys. And they're like,
They're gonna learn in a minute.
I have my new halberd out, and I'm just swinging it around, all happy, like not hitting anybody, but just like waving it around because I'm happy to have my new weapon. You know.
Okay, and that is very, very difficult to do because these city streets are packed with people.
Yep.
So
it's mostly just like up in the air, just swinging it around.
Yeah, kind of like doing circles with it. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where are all of you guys headed next?
To the inn.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to the inn and then wait till nighttime and then buy a new set.
Yes.
Right? Oh, yeah, we're going to find it.
All right, Rudy. Is there anywhere you would like to go before the inn? Because you haven't been here to actually get a whole bunch.
Oh man.
You missed our shot.
Is there a you know how they have like those little slum areas where you can fight your pet versus others, where you have like little scorpions or beetles? Can I put my beetle in a I'm kidding. I'll go to the inn.
You're going to the inn with them? Okay.
Fights with your beetle. Did you want any armor or anything like that?
Maybe like a hand crossbow or light crossbow or something, you know.
We'll get you guys to the inn first, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Alright. That sounds good.
Okay.
Oops, hit the wrong button. Let's see, where is it? All right, for giggles, let me get what I need here. I'll just go with this one, because that'll make sense for where the inn is located. All right, so you guys have a couple of different choices for inns. You've got an inn down at the docks, which is called the Red Goblet. It is both an inn and a tavern. You have the Old Hare, which is in the Craftsman District. This one's a little nicer than the Red Goblet. It is also an inn and a tavern. And then the final one you've got is the Broken Blade. This one happens to be up closer towards like the temples that are here. These ones are actually like legit. The Broken Blade is a very legit temple, or not temple, inn. That one, however, does not boast a necessarily a tavern, but it does have like food and drink available.
Okay.
Well, say we stick around the Craftsman District.
I think we should. I would like to go check out the temple. So, that is.
Okay. So which one do you guys want?
The one in the
this
Craftsman District.
Okay. So that one is the Old Hare, is the one you're staying at. All right. So as you guys wander towards your inn, which will be marked by this eye. So let me do something with it, if it'll let me. And
It definitely won't.
it won't. All right. So this is your inn right here.
Cool.
All right. So as you guys wander towards your inn, the Old Hare, you start, as you kind of go through the crowd, you see like large crowds shopping for the various wares, etc. Sorry, hold on. I'm reading I'm reading something real quick because I have some notes here. All right.
No, you're good, man.
You start to hear rumors from like different people. Essentially, you encounter throngs of gossipers, and they're talking about the lords of what they call the Three Blood Cities.
Yes.
Christina, you know the Three Blood Cities to be the cities of Alba Lulia, Pelis, and Phagoras.
Okay.
So, what would you guys like to do at this point? You're starting to hear a lot of these rumors of people talking about it. Apparently, those lords and lady are coming to this town today, from what you're hearing.
Oh, there. I grabbed just one random stranger that was talking about it. So, which way are they coming from?
Excuse me, who are
I'm like,
you?
It doesn't matter which way. Answer the question.
Go ahead and roll me a coercion check.
Coercion check. Cool. You guys ready for me to fail another check today?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Coercion. Actually, I'm okay in coercion. That's a surprise. All right.
Okay, and it's going to be a average check, so 2 purple.
Nice.
As she kind of looks you over and you look very ruffian with a brand new blade to match, the person's like, whoa, never mind, good dwarf, I don't want any trouble. They're going to be coming in from the northeast. And rumor has it they'll be coming in this evening sometime.
Oh boy.
All right, thank you very much. And I continue on my way.
Okay. As you guys continue, you see a merchant literally kick a woman and child out of his store. Get out of here! Your kind isn't welcome here!
That's not nice. Excuse me.
What do you want, elf?
Excuse me.
Your kind isn't welcome here either.
I just start walking in the door.
I approach quietly with my little hat in hand because I'm Tiny Tim currently with my little stub apparent. Please, sir, might I come in? Giant beetle behind.
You see the crowd kind of around you guys. As you guys do this, the crowd kind of hones in on you guys. They're like, "Oh, okay." The woman kind of like reaches up and grabs a hold of Kustrock's clothing. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Don't worry, we're fine.
It is worth it.
And the child obviously is crying from being kicked into the street.
Nobody should be treated like that.
Is she what race is she?
Human.
Human.
As you
What
kind of
race is that?
as you look at her, she looks very she looks homeless and very sickly, essentially. Like she hasn't had her or her child haven't had a good meal in weeks. Like sickly. As you kind of look into the store, you realize that it's kind of like it's an eatery of sorts. Kind of a nicer-ish sit-down restaurant. Not super nice, but fairly nice. The guy that kicked them out, he's waving around what appears to be like a dagger that he uses to cut the meat. And he points it directly at Kitlin. Get out of my store! And you, he points the dagger at Rudy. You aren't welcome here either, vampire spawn.
Oh, please, sir. I just need a bit of porridge. It's for my beetle. Well, scarab named Beetle. He's very hungry. He eats like a Great Dane almost. In fact, he will eat a Great Dane if you let him.
He will eat a Great Dane, dear.
He Go ahead and roll a charm check. He looks a little confused by what's going on, but he's very angry at you guys for whatever reason. So go ahead and roll me a hard charm check.
Oh, can I do this clever retort or anything like that to give him disadvantages or something like that? You said I could do this.
Yeah, you definitely can use that if you'd like to make him more pliable, I suppose. So I'll give you a boost for it. It's not quite the situation where you'd use that stuff
how hard
for
is
it.
this to do again?
3 purple.
Average?
It's 3 purple.
And I say to him, please, sir, if you don't provide the porridge, I'm afraid my beetle might have to devour your legs. You need your legs, don't you, sir?
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. I hit a really bad patch. What's going on in this store and the homeless lady?
The guy essentially just kicked the homeless lady and her child out into the street, telling them to get lost.
And then insulted me.
Yep.
And my beetle.
He's waving it.
He looks.
Okay.
So he looks at you. He looks about to be on the edge of like, essentially trying to like shank you with this knife, when a couple of guards come through, push their way through the crowd. Hargus, hold! And he just like looks at them, and you can see his face just change immediately. One of the guards bends down to help up the woman. The other guard comes forward. What seems to be the trouble here?
Please, sir, my arm is missing and he won't spare any porridge for my lonely beetle.
He kind of looks at you, looks at the rest
I have
of you.
money even. He just doesn't want to help my poor beetle.
Okay. He somewhat disregards. Who is this one's mother or father? Who is this one's guardian? And he points towards Rudy. You.
I'm in charge of him.
What is the trouble here?
Well,
This
it seems
man is certainly a twat.
Well, I won't argue with you there. Your words, not mine. The other guy, the shopkeeper, starts to like say something. Oh, shut your gob! You know you are.
Still, like, I can't really stow this halberd because it's like 6 feet tall, like double the height of me. So it's like I'm still like holding it.
He kind of looks at you, and he looks towards the elf. And you, miss.
he won't let me eat in his establishment. He said, my kind is not welcome. Then starts throwing the blade around.
He kind of, you see him get kind of a stony look on his face. Fargus, what did we talk about last time? And he's like, I don't care what she says or what you say. They're kind, and he points to all of you, plus that one. They are not allowed in my store. I will not have vampire spawn or tree huggers.
And what do you consider me, sir?
He looks down at you, and he says something extremely rude in Dwarvish at you.
Oh.
Oh, that is a good insult. I push
My
past him and walk
character
into the
finds
door.
this extremely humorous, and you hear this horrible cackle going on in the background. I'm just laughing and laughing. I mean, it looks like I have two, both my arms are down, like I'm holding my knees, but of course, only one arm, you can only see one arm doing it. And I'm just sitting there just laughing and laughing at the top of my lungs. Character finds absolutely fucking hilarious.
I did
It's
shove
really,
past him
really-
into his door.
You know what? I'm doing the creepiest laugh I possibly can.
Kind of like when I laugh.
As you guys kind of look at the crowd, etc., too, you notice that some of the crowd seems to be more sympathetic towards you, and then some of them seem to be more sympathetic to Fargus. It's almost 50-50 who is helpful and who isn't helpful for you. Several of the ones who aren't helpful, you guys catch something along the lines of take these get rid of these bone sacks, etc.
Bone sacks. That's a good one.
As well as other various racial slurs. Essentially, just whatever they can. Like, they call Kustrak a stone muncher and some of that stuff.
I like that.
You're thinking of the wrong kind of dwarf. I am a city dwarf. That's the cave dwarfs. They're very different. We're very different people.
Go home, stone muncher!
Let me I'm here to inform you.
And take that leaf fucker with you.
Hey!
Leaf fucker. Sorry. Good insult.
We don't want your kind here. Get out! And then some of them are... Essentially, it looks like a brawl. Like a massive, brawl is about to start. The guards at this point are just kind of... they're not standing idly. They're actually setting themselves up. You see the younger of the two guards actually reaching for a horn before the other guard kind of grabs a hold of their wrist and murmurs something to them.
Well, have a good day, you wonderful, delightful people. I'll be going now. Taking me and...
Definitely won't be.
Shall we
telling
go
my
rape and
friends.
pillage? I don't actually say that.
All right.
I do
Sorry.
say that. I'm definitely not telling my friends to come here.
Good riddance. Go munch on rocks, you... Yeah. I don't even want to deal with you anymore. Let go of me. And he kind of pulls his arm out from the guard and then wanders back into his shop. Oh, travelers. We'll need you to come with us to make a statement.
Fine. I've been there before. And I give the old guard a smile.
Wait, before we go, can I use my non-existent black shadowy hand to set fire to the guy's shop?
Yes, please.
Sure. We'll treat this as an attack spell. So,
Can I speak some strange gibberish at them and shout?
essentially, you're going to do this with sleight of hand just to hide the fact that you're chanting it. So,
I'm not going to do it, Nick. I'm not going to do it.
you definitely can.
I'm already scouting gnomish curses at them.
There's a time and place for everything, and right now is not the time.
Okay.
Too many witnesses. That's a good idea.
All right. So anyway, the guards kind of come up to you. Make a hole! Make a hole! And the people kind of reluctantly make a hole where you guys can walk through. The guards lead the way. Fortunately for you, heading kind of the same way as you're in. Along the way, go ahead.
Before we go, I'm gonna hand the poor woman just a single gold piece. get some food in them. And,
She literally like takes the gold, and you see her shaking.
yes,
Thank
get some
you.
Food.
Thank you. And she essentially like wraps her arms around your leg, and then just starts like kissing like your foot, like your shoe.
I'll help her up.
No. Yeah, help her up.
And as I help her up, I'll slip 50 gold in her purse without her knowing it.
She's going to notice 50 gold.
50 gold, but
I
she
feel like
Hold
you're
on,
being
Christina.
robbed.
Let me tell you that. Let me tell you how much gold is worth to these kinds of people.
It's
Literally,
worth $1 million.
literally, these people, like the average commoner, can live off of 6 copper pieces a day.
She'll be happy.
This gold, you've literally, if you gave her 50 gold, you would set her up for a fairly nice life for like 6 months.
Yes.
And she's going to notice
Wait,
it
hold
because
up.
it weighs a lot.
But she won't notice who put it in there.
Is that before or after someone brutally kills her to take all that gold off of her?
That's the other
exactly
side of it. What, like a handful of gold, like maybe 5 pieces of gold would be plenty for what you're wanting to
Okay.
do.
Then
Just
I'll
to
have
let
her-
you know.
I'll slip 5 gold pieces.
All right, so
without-
as you help her up, 5 more gold find their way into her pocket. She essentially one of the guards kind of notices this because you guys aren't necessarily being super sneaky with it. She whispers to the lead guard, and he kind of nods, and she kind of comes up and says, "Come along, dear. We'll take you to get you some food." And she literally guards them as they go to leave with all this gold. The other guard says, "Follow me." And he continues to shout, "Make a hole," as he walks through. Occasionally saying, "Upon the name of the Lord, make a hole."
What?
Do
now,
it.
the lady.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Christina.
No, go ahead.
The lady that was homeless, is she following us, or what's going on?
No,
with her?
the other guard that was there is essentially escorting her to get food for her and her child.
Okay. I'll look at that guard before he goes, and goes, "I can offer her a job, so she'll never be homeless again. So when you get done feeding her, we'll be at this inn, and I'll tell him the inn's name. If she wants a job, have her come along with her child."
He kind of looks at you, and she looks at you, and she looks less than trusting of you. Like, just blatantly, like, "I don't trust you." She politely says, "I will see what she would like to do."
I have a great job. It'll benefit my entire party, and I'll show my one good arm to the rest of the party.
She kind of looks over. "I will discuss it with her. And have a good day." And she escorts the lady. You guys end up inside the garrison, where you are greeted by several more guardsmen, etc., filing paperwork. You guys
They
spend...
recognize me.
Several of them actually do. And you see a couple of them... You see one you remember as... his name is Geoffrey.
Yes.
He looks up, and his face just drops. "What has she done now?"
Innocent this time.
Kitlin, you and I both know that is not the case. What did she do? In this case, sir, or in this case, Watchmaster, she was the victim of Fargus.
See? Totally innocent.
This time.
He looks at you. He looks at you, and he's like, "It was pleasant not seeing you for a few weeks, or for a little while. I figured you had finally gone back home to the forests."
Now, why would I do that? There's so much fun here.
Oh, why have the gods decided to put you upon me?
Because they love you so
Have them write the paperwork required, and then get them out of my sight before I have a migraine. Kitlin, don't cause any trouble.
Wouldn't be me who started it though.
So they have you fill out some paperwork about what happened, etc. And then you guys are released back to your own devices.
Okay, let's go take a nap because I could sure use one.
I could too.
All right. So by the time you guys get to the inn, essentially, it's now essentially about mid-afternoon. You guys get in there where you're greeted by a very homely-looking lady. She introduces herself as Erix, E-R-I-X. Well, hello, dears. What brings you into the old hare? Other than a room, of course. I'm assuming you would like rooms for the night.
Yes. Please.
Holy crap! A different woman voice. I'm so proud of you.
Except for that one. And she points over to Gorse. She'll need to sleep on the streets.
Oh no.
Perfect. I'm absolutely down for that.
Anyway, back to actually what's going on.
What's the name of this tavern?
The old hare. Like as in the rabbit.
H-A-R-E.
H-A-I-R.
So what'll it be, dearies? How many rooms?
One for me. Although, yeah.
Okay, I could take up 3 rooms, but I think I'll only need 1.
You snore like a lumberjack.
I know, that's why I need the 2 rooms adjacent.
All right, I'm hearing 2 rooms.
Not really.
Are pets allowed?
I'll take a room.
Usually.
Awesome. And I give like a quick whistle and my
And then your scarab comes through the door. Ah! What is that?
This is my friend Beetle.
Hey, can't you tell?
She clutches. Dearie me. No, that is not allowed. Get it out, get it out.
Do you have a room with like a balcony or something? Then? Just out of curiosity, so you don't put this little gnome man on the streets by himself, alone in the dark with a giant scare. I get where the puppy dog guys.
You just see her like clutching her chest with one hand, just like over her heart, like about to faint, like level, like.
He's hyperventilating.
Yeah.
I have that effect on a lot of women. I stick my hair back.
Except me, dear.
So eventually you guys get her calmed down enough, and it takes you actually removing the beetle from her sight. And she situates you guys with as many rooms as you would like. Each room, with the exception of the balcony room, because that is a second floor room, and a special requested room.
Oh, I would like the balcony.
All right. So who all wants a nicer room in this inn?
I would like to be close to the kitchen.
Okay.
Letting
Kustok
everybody.
has not had a good meal in a very long time.
Okay. So you guys are situated with the rooms. Balcony rooms are going to cost you a total of, let's go with 5 silver, which is going to be half a gold. The one
I'll
next
give
to
her
the...
5 gold in advance.
Okay. So you're situated for like 25 days. Is that kind of how you guys want to just run it, where you're situated for like...
For a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So you set it up where you guys do that. Ultimately, it comes out to a total of 20 gold for everybody.
All right.
Okay.
As you guys kind of just ploop, pile this up on the table, she's like... Her eyes just get bigger and bigger. And then she takes it, scoops it into her apron, and you can see her kind of having to waddle it back to the door, where she's like, Elias, get in here. See these fine customers to their rooms, please. And she waddles back into the back, where you see her, what appears to be her son, who's as kind of stocky as she is, but young, like real young. He leads you up to your guys' rooms where you're able to drop off your stuff, etc.
Wait, before we go upstairs, I'm looking where she's going. Does she happen to pull out a crate to put the gold in?
No, you hear it thunking onto what sounds like a table in the back.
She must be absolutely broke, guys. She didn't pull out a crate.
We need to give her more money. Does the money we paid come with food too?
Yes, that is part of the stuff here. You guys are able to order what you would like, depending on what's being served that day, obviously.
Kustrak does eat an obscene amount of food, so he might have to pay a little extra, but hey.
You know who else?
At
eats a lot of
the
food?
first day or your first meal, they're like more impressed that you're putting this much away, not so much that you have to pay yet.
Besides, you stink. They're not going to get around you right now.
Yeah, that's the other helpful bit.
We're all stinky.
I will have you know I've been using my gnome power to spawn soap every night.
But you were drowned in the
Wait, doesn't that only work with a previously undocumented item?
Maybe.
Once you've made it, it becomes documented.
Listen, I used a lot of soap in it.
It's a different scent of soap.
So he smelled like citrus one night, and then he smells like a rose bush.
Peppermint, lavender.
Good God! All right, hold on, let me see. All right, which kind of gnome are you again?
The good kind.
So a wanderer.
Good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'll say soap. You can do soap all the time because soap is kind of undocumented, the kind you're probably pulling.
You know, that suspicious soap.
The stuff that isn't like in a bottle, but it's like harder soap, which is unusual because most soap here is like liquid.
Yes.
Because they don't know how to harden it yet.
I will show it to the lady at the tavern and say, "Would you like to have a bite?"
She's.
I'm not going to tell her what it is.
I'm going to my room and going to.
Eventually, you convince her to take a bite. She like spits it out. Ugh, this tastes like soap.
Gotcha.
And
I
then
scamper off like a happy little kid.
And she chases you at least to the stairs with a broom. Where are your parents?
He doesn't.
He's outside. You won't let him in.
So anyway, I'm assuming you guys take a rest long enough to heal up, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay, are you guys wanting to go see the Lords of the Three Cities tonight, or are you guys just wanting to... Okay, so...
Wanted to go to the Enchanter for a bag of holding.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys spend 2 hours roughly getting rested and all of that. Are you guys going to go and try and find like a bathing area? Because there's not one normally in an inn. You have to go to a special place.
Follow Caitlin. Cough, cough.
Okay, so you guys do manage to find a bathing area. It's going to cost you a gold for all of you, for whoever wants to go bathing. It's actually around the corner from your inn.
Bathing, definitely
So
bathing.
we're all going to go bathing together? Is it a shared bathing area?
Men and women are separated. So Kustrak and Rudy are by themselves, and then you two are by yourselves.
Fine, I have to go with Kustrak. I'm keeping the beetle with me for protection.
They essentially shoo the beetle out pretty quickly when you try to bring the beetle in.
Okay.
Alright, so for all of you, it'll cost a gold, so somebody subtract a gold.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, I think.
Wait.
I think Christina's been doing that.
When I go to the woman's side, is it like a group bath for women?
Pretty much.
Okay. So when I go in there and I do this, you remember I only got one boob. So, and the other one's like stitched up.
Okay.
So I don't know if I thought I told you all this, but I wear a mask everywhere I go for a reason. But I'll take off my mask when I go in that shower, and you can't really tell because it's just in cut marks where I've cut myself repeatedly. So it looks like a really bad piece of vegetable or something. It's been like an onion where I've just cut myself over and over and over again. I take off my mask and I look at everyone. I go, I'm here to bathe.
Okay. So you can tell that the attendants and stuff that are helpful to people, like they bring them towels, that sort of deal. They're a little more like, oh, okay, but their training is such that they don't like just refuse. Eventually, you guys come out clean.
No, I was just curious if all the women in the bathing area would leave.
Oh no, they don't leave, but you definitely have spawned a whole new rumor mill,
Oh yeah.
completely and
I was
utterly.
curious if Christine and I could get the bath together alone.
Nope, it doesn't happen. Some of the women do leave, but quite a few of them just start gossiping behind like their hands and stuff, so you can't read their lips.
That's fine.
Rude.
I can kill them later.
Anyway, so eventually, after about 30 minutes or 40 minutes of you guys bathing, etc., you guys come out feeling refreshed, clean. Everybody heals 4 wounds if they need it. Any strain you guys have is now gone. And you guys are able to go back out and shop. I'm assuming you guys...
Getting towards,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it getting towards night? Is it getting towards night?
It's starting to get on towards like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So yes, the sun is slowly starting to sink, but it's not quite twilight yet.
Yeah, we still got a bit.
Okay. I want to go to the temple.
Okay. All right. So as you guys go towards the temple, is anybody else going with them?
I am. I'll go with him.
And I wander the streets on the back of my beagle, like nothing weird's going on here.
Quite a few people look at you oddly.
Gotcha. I wave with my one good.
Okay, so go ahead and place your guys' tokens where you'd like to go. Tyson, where are you kind of wanting to go?
I'm supposed to be back at that shop at like the 9th hour. Does that mean 9?
9 in the morning.
So you say that again?
9 in the morning. He wants you there by the 9th bell, which means 9 in the morning.
Okay, so we're in the evening right now.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are near like the... At this point, you're near the 17th bell.
When we go back outside and I have my mask back on, I'm gonna be like, I hate being clean. And I'll take a bunch of dirt, throw water on it, just put mud on myself.
You do you, dear. You do you.
And then I'll go with the rest of the group if that's where we're going. My character's like, we should, with the racism, stick together.
Alrighty.
Yeah, with the extreme racism.
Alright, so as you guys wander towards the temples, you guys enter into the market district where you see throngs of people. Just, oh my god, so many people. And give me 1 second while I make sure I've got the correct page up.
Okay.
And as you guys wander into there, you guys essentially see like different like fortune tellers, etc. One kind of sticks out to you a little bit as you guys go through. She's got fire red hair, a green cloak, and she appears to be shuffling some cards. She looks up at you. Care for a reading, dearies?
Do I
I
read?
learned to read.
Not that kind
Sure,
of
why not?
reading. Very
Do I
good.
reckon?
No, you have not seen this woman before.
Sure, why not? Why
Mouth
not? There we go.
round.
That's the
Make sure there's nobody trying to.
I need to stop doing that. I apologize.
Would that beetle took the eye this?
That's me perusing.
All right. So, as you come up to her, she pulls out her tarot deck. The first one is on the house, dearies. And she gestures you guys to sit, and as like in front of her, where she has what looks to be something similar to beanbag chairs, but with straw instead of beans.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be part of the.
I'm not either.
All right. So, who all is going to be part of this? Kustrak, just you?
Oh no, I'm totally game. Do this.
Okay.
Beat all
Keep
this
my
together.
eye out.
I'm keeping an eye out for the.
All right.
We want some attention.
Alrighty. So as you guys sit down, etc., in the for the chairs, all of that, those of you standing away from it but kind of watching as well. She
Mhm.
she shuffles the deck, has you guys sitting around it actually kind of just put a finger on the deck at one point while she chants something. And then after that, she pulls out 3 cards. Left, middle, right. And then she flips them all over together. Ah, for the past, the 4 swords. You have been beset with a problem that seems unsolvable and complicated. The answer is simple and elegant.
Who is she talking to?
To both of you, Rudy and Kustrak.
Okay.
And for the present, the 7 of Cups. Choices stand before you. Some are real opportunities, some are fantasy that you wish would be achievable. My advice is to step back and take in a wider view. And your final card, the future, the Queen of Swords. The lessons of your past will lead to success. Take heed to them. Should you not, your quest will fail.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will keep that in mind.
I try, dearie. Would you care for another reading? Specific to you this time.
Sorry. I think I'm okay.
How about you, dearie? And she turns towards you, Rudy.
I've got no money, ma'am. All I have is a giant beetle.
Bullshit. Saying that.
That is a very interesting beetle. Where did you come by it?
I believe I found him in a desert somewhere, like a whole turtle away. It was pretty cool. He and I have been through a lot. I'm not sure if Beetle here is a guy or a girl. I'm not about to go check, though, because he's a lot bigger than me. I gesture to the fact that I'm sitting on him.
Well, you must have something. I don't normally need just money. I would definitely be willing for trade if you would like another reading.
I have a mirror.
I could always use another mirror.
I found it in a spooky cavern in the desert with my beetle friend.
I can always use another mirror, and she kind of looks at it. Do you want a reading for that?
Let me say goodbye to the mirror first, and yeah. And I stare at myself for an extended period of time. I adjust my hair, stare at her for a second, then go back and hand her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is out of my inventory.
All right. So she has you shuffle the deck this time. As you do, she chants.
I've got one arm, ma'am.
She shows you how to shuffle a deck one-armed.
Okay, good enough, good enough.
Essentially, she sets it up where you can shuffle it with one hand. All right, so then she starts to draw the cards. The first one, the 5 of Swords. The second one, the Page of Swords.
Ooh.
And the third one, the 3 Cups. Sorry, give me a second. I'm actually doing this. I've got... I've actually got this stuff here.
You would be.
Can I do a cool thingy when she's done explaining them all? It involves spending story points.
Always.
All right. So, the 5 of Swords. A battle is over, complete with a winner and a loser. Someone is walking away with all the prizes, as well as confirmed enemies. She looks at you. It appears that this battle has already happened. Make whatever restorations and move towards peace if you can.
Okay.
The next one. Your present. You are smart and quick to learn, though easily bored.
I noticed Kitlin laughing at me.
Once you understand something, you get really good at using that knowledge to get what you want.
I comb my hair back one.
She looks kind of at you.
Oh,
My
hi.
advice, recognize your intelligence, but also admit what you don't know. Don't be too haughty with your knowledge. And then the Three of Cups. She kind of looks at it, looks at everybody around you, and then you just see this, like, very nice smile just and gleam in her eyes come over. Enjoy the comfort and joy of being with friends, and they are your friends.
Aw.
If you have no immediate plans, arrange something for yourselves. You deserve it.
Aw, heck yeah. I pat my beetle with my good
I
arm.
clap Rudy on the back. Yeah, you do. Almost knock him off his beetle.
I was picturing just that, yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, the beetle's like
Wait,
big
wait.
carapace is helpful.
Did she just say do?
Say what now?
Did that lady just say that do something for ourselves because we deserve it?
Yes.
To him,
No, he
yes.
said for me to do something for
Was the
ours.
first thing that popped in my head a mustache ride? Sorry.
Bad Tyson. Bad Tyson.
So sorry.
All right. So, with that, she shuffles the deck. She gets up, kind of gives like a curtsy almost. That's kind of like a half bow. It is about time that I be moving on. And she puts the cards away. Fortune favor you.
Bye now.
And remember,
There-
the problem that you face has an elegant solution.
Sword. All right, let's go.
And she kind of she heads into the crowd where she just kind of disappears at one
I'm
point.
gonna check my shit.
All right, you don't seem to find anything missing.
Okay. Because that's knowing this area, knowing my group, knowing people around here.
All right, so you head towards the temples, and there are two of them. You have the temple to Shinare and the temple of Kirijolith.
Ooh, Chinare.
Do any of them allow pets?
I walk in. Sorry.
They don't appear to necessarily completely allow pets. They all kind of look at you hesitantly when you come up with your beetle.
Got a new line. This is my service animal. He's here to help me in case a lack of arm getting to be a problem. I wave my stub at them.
Which temple are you guys specifically at? Because they're kind of separated.
I want to
what
go
were
to
the two again?
Shinare.
Shinare and Kirijolith.
Yeah, let's go Shinare.
All right, so as you kind of head towards that, the ladies at the Silver-Winged Mistress's temple look very, very uncomfortable between the beetle and Gores. As far as the beetle, they're kind of scared of it. As far as Gores, they're more... they look upon her with pity.
Yeah. That while I'm cutting my face and sticking in the dagger in my mouth.
Are you doing that right now?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Right through the mouth hole of the mask, I put the dagger into my mouth.
One of the ladies, dressed in slightly better refinery and regalia than the others, kind of steps forward and gently grabs your hand. Sister, there is no need for self-mutilation.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Nick.
Sister. One of the ladies grabs your hand, like gently grabs it, not like stops you from doing it, but kind of lays her hand upon yours. Sister, there is no need for self-mutilation.
I enjoy it. So
What happened to your hand?
Happened to
Arm? Never mind.
Anyway, you notice too as she does that part of her robe kind of slides down from where she's kind of having her hand up. You can see that her arm that is kind of gently touching Gore's is covered in like knife scars, etc.
no, it doesn't bother me one bit.
I know this is more for everybody else. I know it doesn't bother you.
I'm still thoroughly grossed out.
Okay. The other sisters in this of the Silver-Winged Mistress Temple, they kind of do like this kind of different little symbol where they kind of cover their faces as almost like they're praying. Essentially, they kind of cross their hands in almost like an A pattern. Like if you take your ring fingers and you put them together where it kind of makes like this, like an A shape, like a 90 degree, they place those fingers upon their forehead almost like they're praying.
I very proudly have my banner of Hubble out. I've actually affixed it to my I'm an idiot. I've affixed it to my weapon.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm parading around with it. Yeah, to my halberd.
All right.
Yeah.
After a few moments of the one sister kind of looking at Gore's and trying to just essentially get a reading on Gore's, she steps back, kind of does a little nod, and with essentially almost at the verge of tears, "You poor creature."
I just cackling.
She is quite terrifying, right?
She
I motioned to my beetle.
the lady looks over towards you, and she just kind of, you see almost like a look of a mixture between pity and disappointment kind of fighting for space on her face as she looks at you. But she doesn't say anything yet. She appears that she can't speak. The other sisters kind of intercede in front of her, doing the little prayer thing. What brings you to the Silver Mistress's temple?
Wait, can I say something then?
Go for it.
I'll look at her and go, don't pity me and your own self-worth. I know who I am and I value myself greatly. I cut myself in my own art. Don't you forget it. I'm up, and then can I release my my animal companion? Sometimes the true form comes out.
Yeah, if you'd like to.
I'd like to do that. There's always two sides to a coin. And I'll leave the blood in the air that I put on my finger.
Okay.
And I'll release the animal companion.
The fuck was that?
Sorry.
Jesus, Christina. Alright, so as you see that, you guys see what appears to be a small being made of pure white light. Not blindingly white, but the whole of the being is essentially white. You guys see it as almost like a spirit. Master, you have called?
We're in a place of holiness. I would assume you would enjoy this environment.
It is a pleasant change of pace, Master, than the place that you have been keeping me. Are we about done with that?
I'm doing my best to remediate that, but I thought you would like this change of pace, and I will bow to the creature in front of me.
Okay. The creature places a hand essentially on the top of your head, and you feel like a warmth come over you. For the others, you see kind of Gore's almost somewhat relax. Usually Gore's is a little tenser looking than most, but in this case she kind of relaxes a little bit.
Noted.
As Gore's kind of relaxes a little, she places one of her hands on each side of your head, and then she just gently kisses the top of your head.
I hate that.
All right. So the other ladies kind of look on at this, and they're somewhat in awe. And then the being just sits on Gorza's shoulder, one hand just gently touching like the side of her cheek.
This out of character, but can I have the gosh darn phone?
Okay.
I'm almost to my destination. Can I have where the actual angel just flitters about?
Sure. You kind of shrug your shoulders, like, get off of me. And so she just kind of flitters here and there, looking at different things.
Yeah. I tell her to go do what she wants.
Okay. So, anyway, the other sisters ask again, what brings you to the Silver Mistress's temple?
We're new in town, so we're taking a look at the sights. I saw your temple,
Look, you're new.
and I decided, well, I'm new in town. This is my dear friend. We met under circumstances, and now we're here. Anyway, I was just looking around, just getting the lay of the land, figuring out what's what and who's who.
That is an interesting deity that you follow. Not very many temples left to Habuk.
Yes, I have converted a whole turtle to hook.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Then you should be interested in the Kiri Jorlith temple. You are aware that Kiri Jorlith is the brother of your god, are you not?
Of course I am. I stutter out because I was not.
The lady gives you kind of almost like a I'm sorry smile. Apologies, I did not mean to embarrass you.
No embarrassment here. I'm just not as well acquainted as I could have been. You see, I became a disciple rather quickly.
He hit age
Yeah,
of skip,
kind of.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go lay down with my wife here in a minute. If that's
I was
all right.
actually going to say this is probably a pretty good spot to stop for tonight.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of in a lull between the next events. So how we will end this is as you guys converse with these ladies, the bell rings. And you hear it ring a total of 19 times. And that's when you start to see... you guys start to see all the other people in the city as you kind of look out at where the bell noise is coming from. They actually all kind of turn towards the north and the east for a second, murmuring. And that's where you hear like another bell go off that is a different note than the others. Christina, you know this bell to be one for the approaching nobility. They'll be there within half an hour.
We need to go. We need to go.
And that's where we'll stop for tonight. So,
Awesome.
Alrighty. So, good role playing tonight, guys. I know this was probably mostly we had pretty decent combat, but it was more kind of narrative there at the end. Very good role playing. Everybody for tonight's session, you'll be getting 10 XP only, unfortunately. We didn't get as far as I was anticipating, and I don't want to give you guys too much more XP than that at the moment.
It's fine.
So
I thought I did pretty good tonight.
Yep, you did. You definitely took what I was dropping and ran with it. I was very happy to see that.